Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Bourbon Neophyte. Hope you all are doing well this evening and getting ready for Christmas coming up this Sunday. Hard to believe it's here already. That's all I've been hearing is people saying, "Can you believe Christmas is coming already?" I go, "Happens the same day every year. It's not like it's a surprise." But anyway, glad you all can make it. Give me just 1 second, taking care of another little housekeeping thing. For some reason, it just didn't pop up, but that's okay. But Mr. Morgan, always appreciate you being here. Bourbon Baller, cheers. Glad to have you. David, thank you for popping in. I was glued into that live wire and watching their stream and the little battle they did with the blinds and guessing. I thought it was pretty darn good, but was putting together some stuff for a stream that'll be coming up. And this Sunday, Christmas, I will not be doing a live stream at my normal time. I will be relaxing with the family, with the feet up, and enjoying a few pours. So figured I would make sure everybody understands that I'm going to be just kicking it and relaxing. For Christmas. However, you never know where I'll pop up from time to time. You just don't know. But anyway, so you probably saw the thumbnail, and tonight I am opening one of my favorite bottles. And matter of fact, Mark Emanecker was drinking the same one, except his wasn't the holiday one, but there's no difference in the juice between the regular bottle and this bottle. They just made it a little fancy for the holidays and hoping to push some sales, but that's fine because I guess you could say I had a little FOMO because I grabbed one of these, but I grab one all the time. Well, actually, I grab more than one all the time and get it. And I like the bottle. I think it's a good bottle. I think it's a great, consistent whiskey, particularly for the money. I'm going to open this thing up while I am talking to you all. I just find this particular one a great daily sipper, the Smoke Wagon Straight Bourbon. It is, for those of you who don't know, it's 92.5 proof. So it's not high proof. It's just plain good. You know, I've always liked it. I tell people about Smoke Wagon all the time, whether you get the straight bourbon, the small batch, the uncut, unfiltered. It's tremendous. If you like caramel, if you like butterscotch, if you like cinnamon, if you like that rye spice, then you're going to like Smoke Wagon. And inexpensive enough to be your, normal daily sipper, between 30 and 35 bucks, depending upon where you are a bottle. Here in Vegas, it's about 30, what it goes for, about $34.99. That's what I think this goes for. But I was lucky. There was a Black Friday deal, picked it up for 19. So of course, yes, I did get a couple more because at 19 bucks, you can't go wrong with this stuff. Let me see who else popped into chat there. Oh, look at there. What's up, man? I didn't think you would be up. Wasn't sure. Isaiah, cheers. Gordon, cheers, man. Nice to see you. John, always a pleasure to have you over here. That's for sure. Jack, I hope you are feeling better, dude. I know you were a little under the weather there, so I hope things are working out for you. And of course, it's a nice hat. You're talking to me. Come on. I don't wear crappy hats, although I do have a couple. They're really great kicking around hats, my crappy ones. But anyway, let me open this thing up. Let me get a Glen here. Let's get this thing going. Do me a favor and chat. Jack, I know you're probably not partaking because I do believe you're on a little bit of medication. So, but those of you that are in chat, let me know what you are pouring. I'm going to pour a little of this. I can't tell you the last time that I literally had some of this because I've been drinking just between scotches and other bourbons and stuff that I picked up, and then working on a bottle kill last night. And because once they get down so low, you have got to get rid of them. It's one thing that I was talking about previously is this bottle. the Yellowstone I was telling you guys about. I said, man, this sucker was great. 115 on the proof. Well, I had that thing down to about here, and I said, you know what? It has got to go. So I was working on that and killed that. And it's just an amazing bottle. And I actually have some left. I got it sitting in the Glen. So after this here, I am going to probably work on that without a doubt, because that is not going to sit. Oh, there's my buddy Cooler Running. How's everything down there where you are? And if those of you don't know, he is over in Ireland. So it's definitely on the other side of the world compared to us. But I hope all is well for you over there, and you have some decent weather going on. And those of you that are in chat, remind you, please, like Richie just said, smash that like button for me, please. Those of you that are new and haven't, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, because that certainly does help. And, you know, all channels get certain milestones, so on and so forth. But I was notified last week, and I forgot to mention on there, but, you know, hit over 10,000 views on YouTube. So that's people, as you know, either watching the stream or going back and watching the videos that I put on. You know, everyone's like, "Oh man, you should have said something." Well, you know what? I'm going to get there. Watch hours are well over 4,000, so you know I'm just not at that 1,000 subs yet. But I get there when I get there. I I'm worried about it like I'm worried about running out of booze. I'm not worried about that. But anyway, let's see who else. I see a few people popped in there. Hey, Mark, I knew you'd probably pop over here and just say hi. So just like you may have heard, I am doing the same thing, except I'm drinking the holiday bottle tonight. I open one up every year. Well, the last 2 years since they've had it, I do it before Christmas, and I enjoy a bottle and sit back and just have a simple pour with people around here. Dano, cheers, man. Brian, always good to see you. Nick, cheers. Let me get in there and catch up. Bill, always great to have you. To whatever bottle Adam broke tonight, well, it happens from time to time. That's for sure. There's Fredward. It does happen from time to time. Not much you can do about that. That is for sure. Yeah. 10,000 views. Yeah. Like I said, it's not hard to get up to. You get there. And like I said, no, YouTube sends me all these notifications. I just don't pay attention to them. I shouldn't say I don't care, but I don't care. You know, you're going to get there at some point or sometime, but I do it because I enjoy this. I do it because I like it. I like to share a dram with you guys and gals that pop in here. So, you know, it's all cool. It is all cool. So anyhow, sorry, this chat is jumping because I forgot to slow it down when I was in there. So if I miss something, please let me know. Bill, I said, I know you're doing 2 stacks. Okay, that's what I thought. I saw that in there. You got 2 stacks single grain cask strength. Yes, sir. That there is the sipper, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And yeah, you might need a little bit of water with that from time to time. Hey, Jay, nice to see you. Let me raise my glass here. Just pour a little Smoke Wagon straight bourbon to start it off. God, it always has a great caramel butterscotch cinnamony type nose on it. It's just always great and consistent. That is for sure. That is for sure. Oh, well, what can I say? I try. I try. I try not to be too disheveled. Let's put it that way. That is for sure. But sorry about that. It's just not quite. Why is this thing not cooperating with me tonight? I don't know if it's the internet connection that's slow tonight. I don't appear to be having problems. I mean, you guys hearing me or seeing me, there's no lag, but for some reason, I'm seeing it and I don't know why. So I apologize when I'm stopping, because it's causing me to look over there and I'm like, what in the hell is going on here? But let me fix something here real quick because, again, it's not working like it should. Let me fix that, pin it. There we go. See? And I know I did that, but I may have missed a step. But anyhow, went on a unplanned bottle hunt on Saturday, thanks to Bourbon, who sent me a text about a bottle. And I think you guys know I do have a little bit of a affection for Frey Ranch, particularly the picks. I'm not a fan of the standard Frey Ranch, and I do believe on Livewire, was it Whiskey Fancies? They had one of the blinds. One of them was a Frey Ranch rye. I think it was the standard, if I recall it correctly. I'm trying to think. I think that's what it was. Anyhow, I'm just not a fan of the standard expressions. They're not terrible. They just don't cut it for me. So when he sent me that link, he told me about another store pick. So I had to go and grab that. But I like that. And these things are what, $90? It just depends on where you are, but it's 124 proof. I couldn't pass it up. But I will tell you what I really couldn't pass up, and I couldn't get any more, is they were blowing them out at $39.99. Yes, I said it, $39.99. So I could not pass this damn thing up. So I drove to the other side of town here. I had to pick this bad boy up because if I could have got a case, I would have. But they just didn't have any more because at that price, I don't know who wouldn't want one. But anyway, so pick that up and found a foolproof pick, which I'm going to open. It's a pick that they had. If you guys can see that, I don't know if it's too much glare for you or not, but it shouldn't. But couldn't pass that up either for like $52. So an unplanned hunt turned out to be a decent little haul, that's for sure. Yeah, love the cast strength on there, without a doubt. Absolutely love the cast strength. Hey, Marty. Holy smokes, a little late for you to be up, brother. I know it is, but happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year if I don't get to talk to you. Hi, here, Anthony, and I'm the whole way over here in Norm. Okay. Well, hey, I'm glad that everything is fine over there for you, brother. That is for sure. I don't know if you were popped in to Scotch Down under this. Well, this morning for me, evening for you guys, but decent stream, just busy, busy, busy. Hey, one more cast. Cheers, brother. Let me raise my glass to you. How are you, sir? I hope you are having a great day, great night. I forgot you're on the East Coast compared to me. JD, happy holidays, brother. Glad to see you here. Hold on for a second. Let me pop this off. Let me go back over here. Let me get this man up here right now. Look at this.
Hey, buddy.
Hey,
Happy
hey, hey.
holidays, man.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. Yeah, what's keeping you up tonight? Because I know it's not me.
You'd be surprised. No,
Yeah.
I had every intention to do my best to stay up for Livewire and Bourbon Neophyte. And me and Rob have been working on some stuff for MC Squared Whiskey for the last 3 hours. And yeah, so you know how much work goes into this stuff, and we're having a good time and trying to get our next, honest to God, 3 months laid out. So I've got notes on napkins and books and everything else, and so far so good. And yeah, man, just wanted to hop on for a little bit and say hello. And
Hello. Yeah, it's
yeah,
always
man,
great to have you on, especially because, like I said, I know where you are. I know what time it is. My
yeah,
nephew's in
man,
Delaware, and he's in chat, so I know he's up late.
yeah, good. What do you got in the glass? I hadn't caught up
I'm
yet,
opened
so
the holiday bottle.
Okay, the
Okay.
little smoke wagon action.
Yeah. Yep. I figured I'm going to make that a yearly thing where I get a couple of the bottles and open one up specifically during Christmas to enjoy. And I know I got a couple people that asked me to drop off some samples, so I'll get them some because sometimes where they are they just don't have it and they want to try it. And I think it's a great bourbon to start, especially
Yeah,
at
man.
92 proof. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's got vanilla, it's got caramel, it's got cinnamon, it's got the rye spice. It's not overbearing, my opinion. Other people might find it there, but I enjoy it. I like it. So let's see. What's Bill have to say? Any of you bourbon heads know about the Maker's Mark picks with the finishing staves? Worth a try. You know, you got to know what they are and what it is that's in there. I have a couple, but I haven't opened them yet. So I can't say yay or nay on that. I just haven't
Bourbon
gotten around
heads.
the 3 or 4
No.
bottles of Makers I have.
No, Makers is good. It's just you got to be in the mood for it for me. I
Well,
just
I like the higher proof ones, when you get into the some of the picks and stuff like that. Um, to me, that would be at the standard Makers. It's just okay.
yeah.
It's just not enough to it, but
Yeah.
it's a good sipper.
Yeah, the 101 cast strength for me is really good, but the stay finishes are really really good, but just some of the standard the 46 is okay. I don't know, man. I just find myself I don't go to Makers a whole lot. I just don't. And I've got 6 of them sitting over there and
Yeah. I mean, like I said, they are good, but I've had the standard and it just doesn't, make my toes curl.
yeah. No.
Yeah. It's just not something that I particularly gravitate to, but I do have some of the other finished ones and I just haven't gotten to them. But I am planning on that for some future streams.
Well, I tell you too, Anthony, is those stave finishes that are a lot, they're all picks basically of
Mhm.
what they want in the staves. You know, they're not $50; they're
No.
79 plus.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I was going to say
you got to weigh that
$79.
in too. And a lot of the stores back when I still lived in Tennessee that had those, you could taste them before you ever purchased them. So
Some here you can do that. Yep.
yeah, and that helps a lot. But in North Carolina, where I'm at now, that doesn't exist, nor do the stave finishes. So
Mhm.
either you're getting the FAEO ones or stuff like that, or just the regular standard makers. So the special stuff is look at that guy.
I'm
Hot
telling you
damn.
what. We don't
What?
discriminate on this channel. We'll let just about anybody on.
Rob, I told everybody that, or told Stahl that he's texting me, what the shit? We didn't jump on Livewire. I said, me and Rob been working for what, 4.5 hours on
Yeah.
videos and
And
content and stuff.
what's one of the
So,
first things that I told you, Marty, when we started this nonsense? I don't want to make it work. I don't want it to be
yeah.
work.
So we've been going since
But
what,
it
8 o'clock?
is.
Yeah. We've been nonstop. So
I
cheers,
mean,
everybody.
it's
Cheers, Anthony. Good to see you, man. I
hey,
just spent 10 minutes setting up the other camera back and I'm on the webcam. So there's that.
it's fine.
Cheers.
I mean, like you always say, it is what it is. If you don't like what you see, don't watch.
It
Right.
is what it is, but it ain't what it used to be.
No, that is for sure.
So how's camp, Anthony? You still going up there now this time of
No, I
year? Or?
haven't been up there since September. We closed it up. I pulled
Okay.
it into its spot. I know that it's snowing up there and cold and miserable. My buddy lives a couple of miles down the road. I say a couple of miles, it's 20, but down the road, and he says it's been in the teens, you know, at night, 0 degrees, literally. He goes, it's just cold because he left here and moved up there permanently this summer, towards the end of summer. So he lives up there now, and yeah, he's like, this is for the birds. I said, well, get used to it. You sold your ranch down here. Now you're
Rob,
up
it's
there.
gone. Rob, it's gone.
Oh, you did it. I still got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, Gordon. You're not kidding, buddy.
You know what, Gordon? Work, life, things just happen. But you know, we stay in touch. We all do. If we're not on somebody's stream, we're on the phone or shooting a
Yeah.
text just to say "kiss my ass."
That's right.
You
Happy
know,
holidays.
we're still here.
Thank you,
That's
Hey,
Rich.
for
haven't
sure.
talked to you in a while. Kiss my ass.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Exactly.
Here's to looking up your address.
Literally. And if none of you have subscribed to MC Squared Whiskey, there is
Why
the link.
start now?
Yeah,
Right,
you might.
you know.
Yeah, you might as well
The
just go
dumbest.
over
What?
and
Go
do
ahead and
it.
tell them, Rob. The what on YouTube?
It's the dumbest channel on Whiskey too.
All right, there you go. You better be careful because that's going to stick.
Hey,
We might have even T-shirts coming with that on.
I'm
You just
laughing.
never know.
You
guys,
probably will.
You
Hey,
want to
Z-Man.
lose knowledge about whiskey? Make sure you tune into MC Squared Whiskey.
Yeah.
That's right.
A couple of dumbasses just talking
Hey.
nonsense.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. That is for sure. Absolutely nothing wrong with it.
So Anthony, let me ask you. I know what Rob. He's drinking the Smoke Wagon Christmas Edition bottle now.
Oh, who is Anthony? Okay.
Yeah. So I want to ask Anthony why we're still kind of cool for a second. Scotches you've bought in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Have you bought anything special? Not trying to change the subject, and if you want to talk about that later, that's
No,
fine.
I was just swallowing. I just took a sip and I'm like, okay, give me a second.
Loving that Derby. Is that a Derby?
Of course.
Nice.
So the things that I have purchased Scotch wise recently, I picked up another backup for my Talisker Storm. Because
I've not had the Storm. I love
like
Talisker 10.
especially when they dropped the price to $37.
Yeah, I'd be all over that.
I bought a
holy
backup.
shit.
That used to be way high. That used to be more than the 10-year.
Yeah.
Right around? Or am I wrong? I could be wrong.
It was close. But I picked that up. And then the Boona 12 I picked up. And the Compass Box Orchard House is what I had picked up recently.
Have you cracked that
I was
Orchard
say,
House?
where in the heck did he go? He'll pop back on. Got someone else that popped in there when I
Who was it?
turned back around. He
They
disappeared.
might have saw
He'll come
us
back.
and be like, hell no, I can't.
Well, he probably did. He probably realized who
Yeah,
was
there's a
here.
lot of
and he's
sexy just
He's
jumped
like, I
on here.
can't do this. I can't do this without
Ben
them."
Demon Hunter. Cheers, my brother.
Well, I need a pour.
James
Well-
Morgan, Richie Z, thank you for posting the link. Thank you, Richie.
Richie,
Yes.
how you
David
been,
Bays,
man?
cheers, brother.
Yes. Well, I was telling them I hit 10,000 views last week. I just forgot to mention it. And well over 4,000 watch hours.
Bobby!
My man.
There he is. Semper Fi, sir.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing,
Man,
my
I've
man?
been asking about you.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
Doing well.
He's there.
Yeah.
Good to
Bobby,
see you.
how's the establishment coming?
It's coming.
Good, buddy. I know it's been a lot of work.
Slow and steady, but
Yeah,
it's
but
coming.
slow and steady means it's going to be great things at the end. So we can't wait.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for it. I've had realistically, I couldn't ask for much better. Every timing's everything. And it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. And right now, things are at a good spot. So I'm looking forward to a before summer open.
Good deal,
So,
man.
There's a lot left to do, but other than that, a lot of cool things going on. Yeah. So feeling pretty fortunate, pretty blessed. A lot of cool things going on.
So when did you get back home?
Yesterday, late night.
That's what I thought. I knew you were flying because
Yeah.
I watched your Instagram stream and chatted with you a little bit. And
Yeah. You're talking about Friday night when I was trying to stay awake.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
was like trying to figure out like how do I stay up?
Power
I
nap.
need to.
I gotta
well,
go.
I do. Well, like I don't know if you noticed, but like, and I think you did. Like I went Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday live stream.
Yes, you
Well,
did.
Wednesday and Thursday were planned ones, which mean I got off work and I had to power nap to go on at like 1:30 and 2 o'clock in the morning those days. Well, Wednesday night that I do then the landing zone with Zach, I didn't even go to sleep. I just stayed up, went to breakfast, and went to work. So, and then the next night I had to go again, so I took a 4-hour power nap, and then went again with a 2-hour post nap, and then it was like a vicious cycle all week in Portugal.
Yeah, that's vicious.
Oh, going deep. Going deep.
Oh,
Is that the
little
6?
little Remus there. Huh?
Yeah.
Which
What's
one
up,
is
Mike?
it? 6. Okay, that's what I thought they said, but I didn't see it.
I just poured the same thing.
Are we pouring bougie shit? Because like I don't. I'd have to go up to
That's
Steve's.
not. I
Hey,
don't know, Bobby. I don't consider this one bougie.
I poured bougie
Hey,
shit
Remus,
right here.
Remus. If I'll walk up to Steve's and get his freaking Remus #1.
Never saw the 6.
Cheers, Bourbon.
It's good. It's nothing to phone home about.
Hey, Ben.
It's good.
Cheers, Ben.
I think it's pretty good.
I like it. I like it very much. Just not. I don't know that I can consider it special, but I do like it, Mike.
I mean, $105, I think, is what we paid for it. 110.
I think I was at 120 with it out the door, something like that. Yeah.
Hey,
You know-
Anthony, are you going to be on here for a bit?
I'm not going anywhere right now. No,
All right, I'm going to jump off and come back in.
don't jump. Just walk. We'll be waiting.
Hey, go
Hey,
easy, Bobby. Go easy.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't go easy. That's for sure.
Full throttle, baby.
That's
That's
what we
right.
love about you,
I'll
Bobby.
be right back.
That is right.
All right, I'll see you, bud.
We'll be here.
Yep.
Anthony, your hat game is on.
Bobby's
point.
going to get some hitters. He'll be right back. My dumbass needs to be in bed.
I'm just waiting for you, Mike.
No, that's all I can do here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Actually, I've got a hat. I just have to go get it.
There's
Oh,
not-
Joe.
Ow.
Really, Marty doesn't have a hat big enough for his head.
That's very true, Mike. Brain buckets are hard to find.
I'm telling you.
I'll be right back.
Matter with bed? What's he doing?
Anthony, I'll be right back. I've got to get a
We'll
hat.
be right here.
Oh, he's got a project going on. Okay.
Oh yeah, he's busy.
Yeah.
He is busy.
I'll be honest. I like 6. Not gonna lie. I think it's worth 110 all day at MSRP.
You know what?
I wouldn't disagree with that, Mike. Richie Z's talking about that 2XO, the Dixon.
I didn't think it was.
Deadman.
I thought it was okay. I just didn't think it was fantastic. That Dixon Deadman one.
Yeah.
Is it the Phoenix or something like that?
Is it worth $100?
Yeah, it's $100. It was.
Is it worth
okay.
$100? I don't know that it is. Is it worth $100, Joe?
Yes.
It is. Okay. I saw it the other day, but it was like 120.
Mm,
I mean, I can get them here for $95, $96. So I don't know if I'd go to 120. I guess since I'm seeing them for 95.
Yeah.
It's
You don't
hard
want to
figure
give them
that
an
I-
extra 15.
I'd say, oh yeah, I pay 120.
I
Yeah.
just didn't think it was.
95? No.
I
I'm
just
giving
didn't think it was
120.
that good.
I raised
mean, it
you
wasn't
120.
terrible.
Yeah.
I just didn't think it was that good. Maybe if I sat with a second pour or something like that. But
You
I
You
was
have
at
a
the
bottle?
right place at the right time, and a guy cracked a bottle, and we drank some, and I was like,
ooh, Richie Z, it's $78.
"It's all right."
Where'd you buy your bottle, Anthony?
Oh, wow.
I didn't buy it. I drank somebody else's, which is even better. But We were at Liquor Lineup,
Oh, okay.
and he had purchased it,
78. Wow.
and then we
I'm
he
going to
cracked
Richie
it.
Z's Total Wine. They got some good
All right.
deals over there.
Nothing wrong with Ardbeg, Gordon. I'm not going to argue with that. I like
Well,
Ardbeg. It's
Depends which one. There are a few things wrong, but if you're in the
well,
core
if you got that
I have the
fermentation
Ano
crap,
or whatever
then
it's
I can
called, and I
understand.
don't love it.
no, that one is it falls a little short. You
Even
know
at
what?
$50, it was kind of
Yeah,
overpriced.
I found, you know what? That's a good camp bottle. Outside next to the fire at night, sipping on it. Cigar will overpower it for the most part, but depending on the cigar. But I took that one to camp 4th of July, maybe Memorial Day. Didn't take a lot of whiskey with me. I think I took that and maybe a Rebel or something with me. It was really good at night, just sitting there sipping on it, and actually added a little bit of water to it. And it was great that night.
So this summer I enjoy, and Nick Proman kind of was the start of it, but I enjoyed sitting out on the patio and not switching it up.
Oh yeah, I
You
can
know
do
what I
that a
mean?
lot.
Or
of camping.
going camping, and we'd be sitting there, and you have like one choice,
Yes.
and just enjoying the bottle that was in front of you, and not worrying about what the next pour was. Just
Hello,
simply
Governor.
enjoying the bottle you had.
Hello, sir.
Frosty's here.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with you?
Snowman is not that skinny.
Wham!
The Corvecchian, the Ugadale, and the 10 are favorites. I also
love
like
the Oogie.
the
That
Anoa.
might be one of my favorite peated scotches.
I like
Yeah.
the Anoa. So
Do you guys have the 22 Oogie or last year's? Do you know? 'Cause
I have this year's.
I heard this year's Oogie is better than last year's.
Yeah, I have this year's. I love it. I didn't have last year's, but I like this year's.
I got last year's and it's pretty
Cheers,
freaking
Richie.
good. Not good enough to drink it through till I bought one this year, but you know.
I have last year's.
Oh no,
Mine's a
Lagavulin
22, I
16.
think.
maybe I do have the 22. Now that I think about it,
Yeah, I love the Oogie, Ben.
I like it better than the Corey Vrecken, that's for sure. Not by
No.
much. They're a little bit different.
Yeah, I like it better than the Corey, and I like it better than the 10.
Oh, for
Obviously,
sure.
I mean the 10 is pretty cheap. But
And love the lore. Got that one off of the, you know what I'm talking about. And I love it. Love it.
the Lafroig,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah, I like. Anthony
Oh,
brought up. That was Lafroig that you brought, right, Anthony?
Yeah,
That's pretty
the
good.
Carchus.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the Carchus was.
Well,
Is-
I like
There's
Yeah,
something
I
about
like
the
Lafroig
smokiness
10.
of Oogie that I love. Like, I don't know what
So,
it is about.
Yeah, it's meaty and barbecuey and
Yeah.
salty and sweet.
Oh God. Yeah, the salty. That's
So-
actually a pretty good note, Rob. I like the
It-
saltiness.
It is. It is. I like the brine on some of the scotches that you get. I mean, most of them have it, but you have to search. When you are into the Lafroig or you're into Lagavulin, you're going to get some brine on that without a doubt. I mean,
Are you a Scotch guy, Joe? Do you like Scotch at all, or
No, but I did go to a recently. Went to a tasting for Scotch. All the what are those Octomores?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tasted the whole. Who makes Octomore?
Broccolotti.
Broccolotti.
Broccolotti,
Yeah. Went to a Brook Lottie tasting, and they had there are 3 light ones, the blue bottle or blue container, and then the 10-year. Is it the 10-year?
I don't think
Yeah.
there's any 10
And then
year.
the
Yeah, there is. The
Octomore.
10 is the heavily peated.
Oh,
and then
like
the
just,
two, then
the
the
Port
2003 or 13 or I forgot what can that is, and then the 3 Octomores, which is the one
Oh, okay.
this year's 13.1 through 3.
nice.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Oh, and then somebody had brought 3 other from only this where you can only get at the distillery. I guess they visited the distillery, and so it was a total of 9 pours of peat.
That's a
and
lot of peat.
I'm not used to peat So 9 ounces of peat kind of was overwhelming. I mean, there was some good flavor. I think I like Octomore 2 better.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
say the
they-
Port
they
Charlotte
can get
10
peaty.
is pretty freaking ridiculous for the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the 3 is the peatiest of the Octomores that are out this year, if I remember what I read correctly.
I don't
I
know.
know it's a
I'm not-
malt. I know it's a malt. It's a malt
I'm not
whiskey.
paying what I pay for them anymore unless I can get them for.
Dude, you got to buy them in the UK, Rob.
That's what we do.
Because I got like 2.
No,
well, I bought
my
one in
God.
Germany that was a little bit more. It took forever to ship. But the one Octomore I bought in the UK took 3 days to get here, and it was less than if I had bought it here.
Oh yeah, yeah, and
Like by $100.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
That deal there, Mike, is you buy 3 or 4 bottles, and you made bank
Yeah.
on those
Dude,
UK
Like
sites.
I bought it for
I
like
paid
$179. It was like
$300 for it.
$300 at my store.
Yeah. I paid $300 for my first one.
Yeah.
You know,
At my local Total Wine, it's
Come on.
$2.79 right now.
yeah.
Yeah, they're like in the US for whatever reason the Octomores are ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the thing about Costco. They will limit, especially on the Bookers and other ones like that. But for $80 for a Booker's, now you're
Wait,
getting
which
into a price
Bookers?
range
Was
that
that
people
the
wouldn't balk at.
03?
If I could get
Um,
Bookers for $80, I'd probably buy it. They're 99 plus 7% tax here. I'm not buying them.
They're
All
going
day.
for
$100 buy Bookers.
$100.
They're 89. They're 89 here every day.
I
I'm not-
disagree. I got a few of them here.
Dude,
I mean, not
Booker's
that they're
is
bad.
from the
It's
good
just-
part of the Rick House. They are. It is a premium Jim Beam product.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but some of them just for me aren't very good.
Well,
Yeah,
I
if they're
wouldn't
not
say
good,
they're-
I,
you don't
I
want
haven't had a
them, but
Booker's that I don't
Some
like.
of them are very, very similar.
I haven't
to
had a
the
bad
other
one
ones.
in like 2 years.
Look at Bobby's wanting to freaking kill every one of us right
I
now.
What was
know
the-
Bob-
About
I know
Booker's.
Bobby
I know.
It was
appreciates
like
Booker's.
Becky's batch or something like that, Bobby, right? Like
The
what was
last
one
one,
that was-
the last time that they had a bad one was Teresa's batch.
yeah, Teresa, that was it. Teresa's batch. The other one's like $100 all day. You're getting barrel proof beam from the good part of the Rick House
Yeah.
for $100. Like that's a good buy all
Hey,
day.
the last 2 years, all 4 drops have been quality.
Dude, I'm telling you, I haven't not liked the last 2 years.
Yeah, the last 2 years, I think that they've worked their way through a couple. If you look at overall in the past, all the way back to like 2018, there's only been like 2 bad drops.
Yeah. Like that's the thing is we don't like that the price has gone up, but that doesn't mean it hasn't gone up like every other fucking whiskey has gone up.
And I 100%
consistently,
agree with that, Mike.
consistently.
My problem is that I don't find that, and again, maybe it's my immature palate. I just don't find that much difference between them. And again, I've kind of reeled in my
Do you find a bunch of differences between, like, say, the ECBPs? Is there like a huge difference, or do you get them constantly because of what
Yeah,
you're used to tasting?
I'm getting them out the door at $65.
Oh, well, see, not all of us get it at that price either.
Yeah, I don't.
We see it at like 80 or above, at least here in California.
The only difference
here, I
is
see
I
those
got to
for
catch them in
90,
the first 2
95.
days or they're gone. Booker's
Yeah.
is on the shelf. But again, I'm not against Booker's at all. But I guess what I'm saying is if I have $100 to spend or 107 out the door with tax, I'm looking in other places only because they're so damn similar. Are there others? Some are better than others? Absolutely. And another thing is
I'll be honest, like if I have quite a few
20.
I have quite a few Bookers, like probably not as many as most of you, but I have quite a few Bookers back here. I try to get one every batch, and I see a pretty significant difference. I mean, they all have the Jim Beam profile.
Sure.
So
Sure.
just like Heaven Hill has, you get an ECBP, it's that profile, but you get different notes, you get different, they hit in different ways, and I mean, I like them. Everybody like shits always complains because they're 7, 8 year, 6, 7, 8 year, but they're part of that rick house. That's part of that X, right? So it's not the same. It's like saying I'm not going to buy a Texas whiskey because it's not an 8 year, but an 8 year Texas whiskey is like a 25 year Kentucky whiskey. It's like, it's not even the same. So location matters just like in real estate. And so, you know, when you get a Booker's, it's from the premium part of the rick house. It's, you know, where they get the barrels is from the premium part. So it's not like a Knob Creek 9 or, you know, 10 or 12 year. It's very different. You just can't compare them based on age. And I think that's where a lot of people get that. They have the problem with Booker's is they say, well, it's young. Well, it's not in the same part of the rick house as Knob Creek, which is not coming from the premium part of the rick house.
That's
Well,
true.
First of all, anybody that goes out of their way to say that anybody saying 6 to 7 years is young, that's a stupid statement, because your preferred sweet spot is 4 to 6. You might have brewers that have they're dialed into a place in their rick house or a bottling technique or whatever they're doing with their barreling to be older than that. But there's a huge risk above 7 years.
And I think 12 to like the 18 year Knob Creek, like I think that's a risk.
You know, the reason why you don't have,
right?
There's a reason why your scotches, Mike, right? And we're talking about the same thing, right? There's a reason why your scotches, your young,
they're in used barrels
are 10, like a 10-year to 12-year scotch. Oh, that's your normal average drinker that's there. It's because of the barreling, right? Yeah. They're able to use used barrels twice, you know, either a single barrel, a bourbon barrel drop, or they're doing a double bourbon barrel drop, right? They're doing a twice barrel. So, you know, you have that. When you're talking about single barrels, though, you run a significant risk when you run above a certain thing. So when you're looking at dropping only barrel proofs at 6 to 7 years, it's actually a pretty smart call.
Yeah, and what most people complain about with Knob 15, Knob 18, you know, Elijah Craig 18, that it's over oaked and all this.
Yep.
So, I mean, it just depends on what you like.
That's what Calumet 16 did for me. Calumet 16 to me was over oaked.
Yeah,
I mean that's me. And now, granted, it's got great. If you love oak and you love cherry, that's your wheelhouse.
It is.
But for me, the 15, the 14, and what was the other one you sent me, Rob? The
go ahead and put me on the spot.
Oh shit! No, it wasn't Calumet. It was shit, and it beat it in a blind.
It probably was shit.
Yeah. So that's my point, right? Like, I'm not saying Rob is wrong that he doesn't like paying $100 for a Booker's. I'm saying, like, if you're just looking at the age like Adam did, right, then that's not the right way to look at it. If your brain is saying it's not old enough for the price, then you're not really looking at the skill that's involved in the distillery and aging process. You have to look more at what's in the barrel if that's what you care about. I also believe there's a presentation aspect of the price. There's, you know, all of that stuff that I enjoy, but I mean, to each their own. I don't care. If you don't like Booker's, go buy a Knob Creek. I don't give a shit. Like, it's good.
Yeah. You drink what you like.
Just drink what you like. Like, this doesn't have to be, we don't have to be to that judgmental where, like, you don't like Booker's or you do like Booker's. Like,
or on the YouTube train that other people were shitting on it. And I'm definitely not shitting on it. I have the pigskin batch is probably one of my favorites out of all the ones I have.
I like pigskin. Yep.
Pigskin was very good.
Like deep fried pigskin?
I heard that all the 2022 batches were decent. The last two were probably the best from what I understand.
I don't know about the best. They were good, but I don't know about the best.
No, I mean the 2022.
The only thing I think is getting better every year is Larceny Barrel Proof.
They're getting really good, and they're getting consistently better.
I agree with that.
But I can tell you right now, I have yet to have any of them that beats Country Ham. I haven't had one yet.
Yeah, Country Ham is on another level.
And Bobby, that's another good point.
All of them
is that, you know, the Country Ham was out there, and then some of these other ones don't live up to it. So then all the nonsense comes out. And Mike has a great point. One part that I'm coming from is that, man, I'm trying not to spend $400 or $500 or $600 on whiskey every month or even every quarter at this point. So I'm trying to.
You do not ever have to do that, whether it's Booker's or not.
Well, what I'm saying is Booker's is kind of falling at the back of the list.
Yeah, look at like Joe is a great point. Like, you can
so
go
is
find all
Bardstown.
these whiskeys, but make sure you taste it before you buy secondary. Right?
Well,
Joe's videos kind of talk about that a lot. Like, make sure you're tasting it before you buy
Absolutely.
secondary, because secondary isn't worth it in a lot of cases.
Now, I will say, since we're on the Booker thing, the new drop price of the little book is stupid. I'm not okay with.
Yeah, I'm not a. I mean, I like Little Book, but I'm not a huge.
I'm not $150 in the little book. No way.
Yeah, I don't like the. I
I
feel
bought
like
it.
that's starting to get. In the price.
But I buy all the pretty things.
Yeah, I'm not dropping $150 on that when I can go and buy
I used
like
to.
$150. I can buy like 4 really good scotches. Like,
But you know what? It's not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think $150 you have to start being really critical, because there's a lot that you can get for $150 that you start to say, is this worth the same as this?
That's a
I-
lot.
right,
That's
like
a
you
lot of
start
the
to
stuff
say,
me and Rob
no
talk
chance
about.
little book is ever going to compete with SMWS. No way.
I've never owned a little book. I've had shots at them, but
I have. I killed it last Thanksgiving. Thanks
just
to
not
Anthony.
paying, I'm not paying the price.
In
for
one
it.
day, Marty, you lush.
We did.
But the little books I have, I bought them when they were like $79. And $79
that's a
is a
reasonable
fair
price.
price.
I think I
And if I
paid
could
like
get Booker's at
$150
$80.
for my Little Book.
Yeah.
I'm probably buying them, but I'm just.
But yeah, they jumped up because we used to be able to get Booker's to 69 and they dropped up to 90.
They're 89
Yeah,
here.
I will say like 100 is kind of normal for Bookers right
Oh, yeah.
now.
Yep.
When I see it
is.
for over 100, it's not because of what's in the bottle. It just kind of irritates me that it went from like $85 to 120.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And to your point, Mike, so is everybody else.
Yeah, but everything else is doing that too. You're exactly right. Like, you're getting barrel strength Jim Beam for 120. That's not terrible. You compare that to a Discovery. Like, I feel like a Bardstown Discovery is in the same range as a fucking Booker's. You're just not used to paying that for a Booker's. I think ECBP is a way better deal than any of that shit.
I haven't
Oh,
seen
yes,
a
it is.
disco. I haven't
Yes,
seen
it
a
is.
disco in the last 3 months for under $150. I'm not buying
Yeah,
it.
like ECBP is like the ultimate, like,
Good night.
I don't
Vic.
know, like game soiler, right? Like, it soils
Big Vic.
everything, because you're getting it, even if you're getting it for $85-$95, you're like, that's freaking barrel proof, Heaven Hill, 12-year minimum, right? For any of the batches. And you're like going, damn, that's like $85-$95. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
quite
of
frankly,
course.
I sit down. I've never had one that I said, "Holy shit, this sucks."
You never had one that you said, holy shit, this is so different than any of the other ones.
That's probably true. Well, I don't know, man. We put
I don't know.
a couple together the other
A121
night.
was pretty different. But other than that,
Yeah, I've had a couple that are different, but again, I get your point, Mike. But again, I'm talking $65.
Yeah.
I'm okay to make a mistake at $65.
we don't get it for 65 for the record. But
Yeah.
to Joe's point, we don't like, not many people are getting it for 65. That's just saying.
Well, I'll put you on the list for A123.
Well, after
Yeah.
shipping and everything, it's the same.
Yeah, it's still the same.
Oh, you guys charge shipping? That's bullshit.
No, when you send it to me, I got to pay for the shipping,
Why would I charge you shipping?
Because you're
bro,
paying
because
it out
I'm
of your
not going to
pocket,
put
bro.
you out on the shipping.
You just make it up.
Because
to me.
I care about you, Rob.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
He
Marty,
cares.
on the other hand, he's going to ship it for free.
Double.
Because I'm too damn stupid to know any better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right,
no,
Anthony, I'm
just-
going to bed, buddy. I just wanted to drop in and say hi. Everybody on stream, thank you guys. Love you all.
Good
Love
night,
you
Mike.
too, buddy.
Booker sucks.
Cheers, man.
What sucks?
You do.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, you
wrong.
can't help it, Mike. You can't help it.
I can't. I try my hardest.
Frankie rules, by the way.
Yeah, Frankie's the best. She has more friends than I do.
Yeah.
I get more information on Independent Joe from Frankie, just so you know.
There you go.
She watches your shit all the time, Joe, just so you know.
Well, good.
Yeah. Well, she's awesome. That's why.
That's
All
right.
right, I'll
And
talk
that's
to you
why.
guys later.
That's
Right,
not
Mike.
why. She's just awesome.
See you
Love
guys.
you, Mike.
See you guys.
See ya.
See you, Mike.
But
No, I went to a store probably a month and a half ago, and they had 15 cases of 03 Bookers on the floor, and it was unlimited. And I didn't know what to do.
I'll tell you what I did. I didn't buy any this year.
Yeah, we
so
passed on it. We
I
didn't
didn't buy when I saw them. I didn't buy them, and I'm okay with it.
Well, look, since Bobby's here, Bobby, have you had 04 yet?
No.
So where are you with 1 through 3 for this year?
Well, I don't have them all because in Ohio they've gotten allocated. So you have to really be fortunate to be able to get to the store in the line or have someone pull one for you to even get them now. I'll tell you how bad it's got in Ohio. You know what's actually allocated to the point that it's one per person?
Angel's Envy.
Worse. Freaking Ancient Age.
Oh,
eight.
No, not 10 star.
No, just
Ancient Age.
No.
Just regular gold label Ancient Age.
Just regular old Ancient Age.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's all Buffalo Trace, and it is every bit of anything made by Buffalo Trace is one bottle per. Period.
Well, Bobby, I don't know that you have my contact information. You might, but I'm pretty sure you have Marty's.
I mean, I can get stuff. I mean, the problem is I can't get it, but at the same time, I'm like everybody else, right? I obviously am a Booker's fan.
No,
Absolutely.
I question when you make that significant. For me, it went from 69 to a 99. I was like, well, hell, that's a $30 change. For $99, I can get Lagavulin 16.
So you agree that you do the math. You're doing the math in your head on bottle availability to what you can and can't get, because that's what me and Rob do a lot, constantly on the phone.
I think we all do that, right? Because you're looking at value added to my bar plus what can I get? I mean, if I'm going through and I figure, okay, well, I have $100, I can get one, or I can get this or that. At $100 for Bookers, I mean, I get it. I understand everybody's going up, but man, I'll tell you what, I don't know that I would take $100 Bookers over some other things that I really like.
And that's where I'm at.
And I think that's a fair place to be, man. I have no issue with that at all.
And again, early in my journey, it was the Bookers and the 3 or 4 or 5 other ones. And I just can't do that anymore. It doesn't make sense.
The only thing that means
something has to be subtracted. And unfortunately, in 2022, it was Bookers.
For me, I think the only thing that gives me any kind of I can kind of maybe do it in my head is the fact that they've done much better at consistently not having a stinker out of their 4.
Yeah, you're right.
I think that's the thing that would be because right now we just had this big drop in Ohio, right? They picked a whole bunch of stores. They dropped all kinds of single barrels that the OHLQ picked. And the one that I sit there and look at and I just shake my head at. And they're like, well, we don't know why this is not going off the shelf. And I was like, well, because your price is retarded.
Ridiculous.
Old Elk. Old Elk is really a good freaking pour at $60.
I agree.
Not 120.
Right.
No.
There's no way I'm paying 120 for your last bottles of all your barrels of the guy that's no longer there. That was there. And they were $60 when he was.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that part of it. Like I mean, I'm no different than anybody on screen here, right? You're always looking at, and especially with me, like I'm pretty heavy into scotch, and I'm like, well, hell, I can get $150. I can get a bit of scotch.
Yeah.
I was just in Portugal, and I had the Compass Box Orchard House, and I had the Kilhoan Senag, and it was $100 for both.
Yeah, that's a
a
no-brainer,
steal.
man.
I literally walked by. I was on FaceTime with Zach. I said, "Look what I'm walking by." People in the bourbon community would be passing out. I walked by. The whole back of her bar was the whole entire Blanton's light up. She had Blanton's Gold, straight from the barrel, Eagle Rare, all of them. They were all there. And I walked over and got 2 scotches.
No, I get it, man. I totally do. I mean, it's
like gold, freaking Blanton's Gold in Portugal was 137 euros for a bottle. In Stockholm, it's still 61 euros. So I'm like, yeah, no. 61, yeah, it's great for 104. It's 104 proof. If I'm going to spend $100, I'm not spending more than $100, but I'm spending $100. I'm good with Blanton straight from the barrel. That shit's delicious. Absolutely amazing. I've been fortunate enough to have about 3 bottles of it and drank them all. But, am I paying $150 for it? No, not when I can get SMWS for less than that. No way.
Are you a member of that, Bob?
Yeah.
What's the annual?
99.
That's
what's the average bottle cost on those, Bobby?
About 129.
Oh, really?
We thought they were about 200.
Yeah. You said average. There's bottles that are high,
yeah, right.
There's
right.
bottles that are higher and bottles are lower, but you're going to spend around in that 130 range for quality, flipping amazing.
Right. You're talking single cask scotch.
It's delicious. I have yet to have a bad SMWS. I've never had a bad SMWS ever. They may be different, and that's the cool thing about scotch is there's so many different unique profiles from different distilleries that you have all that kind of nuance that is unique, right? And at the very worst case, I know, hey, there might be a little coloring added, but they say it on the label. If it's not, they'll say no color added. And I'm more intrigued about, but what do I really care about color if I have a taste profile? I don't.
No,
I don't.
I'm not that of a purist. I know people that are dead set against it, which is fine, but I don't have a problem with a little color added here and there for consistency. I don't care.
Like this stuff here, I would buy this by the case. No doubt about it. Buy it by the case all flipping day long. Absolutely delicious.
Andalusia.
This is their bottle and bond. Incredibly affordable out of Texas. There ain't a damn thing Andalusia is dropping right now that isn't delicious. This is all Texas whiskey.
Definitely need Jesus.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Oh my gosh, we're perfect, Mark. How about
Pretty
you?
good, sir.
Oh, spectacular. Thank you.
I'm an hour and a half past my bedtime, boys. I'm wrapping it up, or I'll be here till Anthony throws me out. I'm going to bed.
I understand.
Anthony, great to see you, brother. Thanks so much for having me. Marty, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bobby,
Thanks
great
for the warning.
Joe, Mark, good night, boys.
All right. Cheers, buddy. Good night.
Good night, brother.
Wrapping it up.
Have a great week.
Have a good
See
night.
ya.
All right. Good night, guys.
No, Daniel H has been on me and Rob for quite a while about joining SMWS, and we actually were just misinformed on what those bottles cost because I can't do $200 a pop all the time, and if it's not that, then that's something really worth looking into. To be honest,
No, you can. So you pay a $99 subscription, but you can go in and pick whatever you want, and there's all different types of profiles and prices.
Yeah, I'll look back into that start of the year. I've got about 15 bottles waiting on me in Tennessee from the big drop, as they call it.
Yeah.
What's up, Richie?
So I've got to take care of that mess. I've got some stag and some other stuff hitting now. So
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Not of
it's
me.
but it's weird, man. In Tennessee, all the big Buffalo Trace, all the Elijah Craig stuff, all the Japanese whiskeys. I'm trying to think what else. Old Fitz stuff hits the week before Christmas. It's a freaking horrible time of year to
Sounds like
drop
you're
that shit.
creating a madhouse.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I could easily, if I wanted to, I could spend $700 tomorrow. And I just,
Easy.
it's just for good old working man me. It's not in the wheelhouse. But I've got, I don't know. It's just I've got to make a couple phone calls tomorrow and see what happens. But yeah, I will definitely take back into consideration the Bookers. The 04 is here now. Actually,
Oh, really?
yeah, it's $89. So
At $89, I'm buying.
yeah, my dad's
I'm buying at 89.
Yeah.
I'm probably holding at 100.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be you're gonna be right at 100 at tax, and everything.
Yeah,
so,
but I'm talking like 99 before tax.
yeah, no, I get you. My
Yeah.
dad's
89 is good, but north of 100, I just
I
can't
have
do
a
it.
hard-
Like
I have
here,
a hard time.
the what is it? Is it Kentucky tea?
The Kentucky
What's
tea
this-
batch?
Yeah,
You're talking about
it's
the
100. It's 110
Ew.
here. 110, and I said, "That's pushing it." I mean, you've about bursted the envelope
Yep.
for.
I heard some
Right,
pretty.
Richie.
I heard some pretty good reviews on that one.
Oh, I don't know
I heard amazing
anybody
reviews
that
on it.
didn't think it wasn't good.
I like
And
it.
then the last one I got, someone had gotten one, had 2 pours out of it, left it set for about 2 weeks, maybe 3. I don't remember, but I know it wasn't just a few days. And he did say it was an amazing bottle. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
What
really
bottle?
good. I had the Lumberjack back in August or September,
Yeah.
and I wasn't impressed over it.
Yeah,
What's
I
the
tried
Lumberjack?
the lumberjack over at Marvin's, and I didn't like it nearly as much as this Kentucky tea batch. And I was lucky enough to find that one off base, so I got out of it with
Oh,
no
really?
tax. They only had a handful of them, and I grabbed one for me and one for him. And there was like $73 out the door. I'm probably never gonna see that again, though.
Yeah, probably not.
So Anthony,
Yes.
I went to my local Goodwill with my wife because let's just face it, my wife is a crafter, and that's where she dwells sometimes.
Exactly.
So I was like stoking around, and I looked, and I was like, I saw the perfect cigar rest, and I was like, oh, I am definitely getting this. However, I know what it was. It wasn't a cigar rest, and it's been intriguing. And I'm not old, I'm not, but
No.
my family's really old because they're all dead.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there looking. So I'm going to show you my cigar rest. And if you know what it is, you don't have to say it. Just raise your hand because I know not everybody in here is going to know what this is. But my cigar rest that's like actually really bougie. But you wouldn't know what it was. You wouldn't know what it was if you didn't know what it was.
I think I know.
I know what it is.
I would expect Marty to know.
Hold on. Let me just get a little closer.
I would not be surprised for Marty to know.
I know.
So let me just ask you this.
Yeah.
Turn the bottom up to me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just leave it go. Leave it go. I know what it is. That's all I want
And
to
you
know.
know what it is.
But you don't see that anymore.
No. Listen, so these are hard to find. And that's
Mhm.
why I was so shocked to see it.
At a Goodwill.
Because, well, there's not a big rapport of ceramics left.
I was just going to say, is that ceramic or glass?
It's ceramic.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anybody here that did not know what it was? Yeah. Which didn't surprise me. I thought, Mark, you probably wouldn't. So back in the day, they used to have all their comm running along the railroad.
Okay.
And what they did is they had a guide that went wrapped around, held it in place, and then the cable ran over the top, right? And it was old, non-insulated cable. So it had to have an insulator.
Right.
This is the ceramic insulator for the old railroad cable.
Oh wow.
And they screwed on They literally have a screw in here, and there was a screw up there, and it would screw onto the poles.
Yep.
Okay.
And these would just sit here. Well, they
The
turned
cable went across the
because
top.
they broke so much.
Yep.
So they went to heavy glass, which most people collect the glass ones, because the ceramic ones, there just ain't a ton of them that made it. And I walk into the Goodwill, and she does that, and I always walk back to where they might have something that might be like, sometimes you run across some really cool, whiskey stuff, glasses and
Decanters
and that stuff. And I walked by, and it's really strange. I don't know why my Goodwill does this, but they have everything on racks by color. It'll literally like blue, brown, whatever.
So somebody that stocks the shelves has OCD. Got it.
Yeah. And so I walked in there.
Point.
I saw that, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And I bought it instantly because it was $1.
So now, what did they think it was? Like, what were they selling it as?
They had no idea.
They
Wow.
No, literally, they had no idea what it was.
they're like,
Where
this
I'm
is a
from-
thing. It's $1.
It was in
Where
a
I'm
glass
from,
section.
I saw them. I seen them everywhere, particularly around the part of Pennsylvania I grew up in. Those abandoned lines. Maybe they might have a line on there, but they were abandoned because it wasn't worth pulling them out. But you would find them laying around the railroad tracks there because they just threw them
abandoned.
down. Poles fell. They fell off. Whatever.
Well, the
but
glass ones would always survive for the most part. The ceramic ones shattered. So it wasn't as common to see a lot of ceramic ones make it. If they,
I've seen them before sold with lines on them as like a memento.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
either the line's been glued to it or something, a cable or something, and if you try to take it off, you're going to ruin it. It'll break it.
Well,
I've never seen one. I've never seen one like Bobby's that didn't have something attached.
Yeah, my dad worked on the railroad, so I mean, I knew what it was. I used to go on the trains with my dad.
Yeah.
And so when I walked in there, I told my wife, I said, "You know what this is?" And she's like, "Yeah." I said, "What do you think I'm using it for?" She said, "Your stupid cigars." I was like, "You're damn right."
Shot. I want one of them. Slap shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bobby, let me ask you something on the cigar end. The last probably month or two that you and Zach have been doing the Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
Have you all lit up any cigars you've been quite disappointed in?
We've had one that comes off the top, right? We had one cigar that
you don't have to mention it if you don't want to.
We had one, so it was really interesting. We had one. I had it first because we always, like, if we get more than one, we try to profile before we get together and do stuff. I'll do my notes, he'll do his notes. So we do a lot of back end stuff. And I had this one cigar that the quality construction in it was horrible, like absolutely horrible. So much though that where I got it from, it was a place that sells them that's in the community. And I called him and I said, "Dude, have you got any kind of complaints on this? Did I just get a bad one or did a lot of people get this?" He said, "Dude, you're like the fifth person that's called me with the exact same thing." So I told Zach, and Zach had the exact same issue. And it was an entire batch of bad construction.
Oh.
Were they too tight, or what do you think?
No, they every single person had a tunnel of the cigar.
Oh God, it's a tar and everything was just.
So nasty. It's one thing to have a little. You can have a little one here, and sometimes you'll get that tunneling based on like humidity. If it's too humid, people don't understand. Like if your cigar has too much humidity in it, it's going to start expanding as you draw it in, and it heats up, and then you're going to start losing draw. Well, this was not that. Your outer band was there. It was doing everything it was trying to do. It just wasn't able to get it because you had a straight tunnel through it. And you're literally just like pulling air through a straw. And there wasn't the draw heating up the outer band.
Right.
The binder.
Were you constantly going back to try to relight it and everything?
You know what? I gave it probably about a minute. And when I realized my draw was as easy as it was, I knew it was bad. I just turned around and looked at it. I was like, yeah, that there's no recovery in that. And a lot of times when you have that, you can just like press and you'll feel a soft spot. And what you'll do is it'll feel like there's a little soft valley in there. And then you just press and see how far it goes. And mine went from top all the way to the bottom.
You can almost touch your fingers through the cigar.
Yeah, I would literally I know I would just be drawing and never getting anything.
Send you a text, Mark.
Heat.
Exactly.
I would just be getting the heat and all the bad stuff in the front end and no flavor profile.
Yeah.
And so the guy that was selling them reached out to them and let them know, hey, everything I've sold has been this issue. And then they corrected it. So,
well, at least they did that.
Yeah. Listen, the LCK boutique blend, they're very good about being pretty.
Well, other people were telling me they got it. I was just wondering if you got yours.
No, I was just texting you back. I meant to text you to tell you that I really appreciated it, man. It was awesome.
But yeah, there is nothing worse when you get one that the construction just isn't worth a pot to piss in. But the thing about that too is it has to do with the quality control and they're making so many and they're hand rolled.
That, Anthony, when we hit it on the first couple little draws, you could get some flavor. It was going to be a good stick. It could have been a really good stick, but the construction was so bad you could never get to it.
Yeah. And that's a shame.
Yeah.
That got through, but they have to talk to the people, that's making that blend because it's specifically not them. They're buying it from somebody else. Yeah. So they bought that batch of tobacco and told them, what they want. And so that's their blend. And anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby, let me ask you something. Are you consistent with the type of cut you make on the back end of your cigar, or do you mix it up?
No, I'm consistent now. I mean, for the past year, I've been exactly the same.
What do you use?
I shave.
Mm-hmm.
I do a shave.
He just pulls out his pocket knife. That's it.
I'll be honest with you. I'd say 50% of the time I just use my teeth.
See?
I've been using that V-cut, and I've having a hard time with draws on some of the tighter cigars, and it's just become too much.
That's not always the best cut.
Well,
I agree.
What the other thing is that when you're going through, if the end of the cigar, like if you're going up to the shoulder and it looks like it's burning pretty even and it looks consistent and you're having a hard draw, there's probably a good chance that if it's just a regular cigar profile, not like a torpedo or some of the different ones that have the different bends at the end, because you always get some constriction at the bends of like a torpedo and figurados and stuff like that. But if it's just a regular old cigar basic style, right? Typically, sometimes I usually ask someone, hey, when you're drawing your cigar, are you doing a quarter turn and are you teething it at all? And a lot of people don't know that, like, you'll see someone smoking and there's a lot of things going on that someone usually isn't talking about. And I did this with Daniel H., right? Me and Daniel spent some time talking about it. Most of the time, people are putting pretty gentle to, let's say, medium firm bite on their teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Drawing. And then what they'll do is quarter turn it, and it'll go from this press to turn it and press, and it'll open up that back end.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll help that draw. It's a little bit harder on a V cut. I would say that you get the other benefit that you get from like a shave that you don't really get with like a punch cut or a V cut and that stuff is you get a full mouth experience instead of like a pinpoint experience. Like a punch, every time you draw it, it's going to draw to a certain place.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're really advanced and you're shaping your draw by flipping the cigar, but most people aren't doing that. It's always going to land on one spot, and you're going to find this place on your tongue that gets really hot, really dry, starts getting kind of miserable. It feels a little ashy in that spot. A shave is literally just what it sounds like. Barely taken off
that cap
back end, just a smidge.
Have a good night, y'all.
Hey,
Cheers,
Joe.
Are you
Joe.
out,
Merry
Joe?
Christmas,
Yeah,
buddy.
brother.
I don't see
Cheers.
you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Good night, Joe.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, you're gonna have that, right? You're gonna have that.
Yeah.
Thing. I would say if you want to get yourself, if you're gonna invest in anything, the best thing you can ever do in cigars is invest in a really good cutter.
Yep.
Because you don't want it to like bind and pinch and cut and rip. You
No.
just want it to just slice through. And you don't want to go low, just literally a shave off the top.
Take
Just
that
enough
cap
to-
off.
Just
Just
enough
get
to-
that cap off. You
yeah,
can
don't
always
you
take
don't need
more.
to take the whole cap off. You don't want
Yeah.
the whole cap gone.
No.
Because the reason why people tell you to not cut behind the caps. So usually you want to look and see how many layers you have. You could have a single, double, triple, whatever. You just want to shave across the top, right? But you don't want to go below your entire cap because you'll find if you do that, your wrapper starts to open up and fall off.
Yes, it
Start
will.
expanding.
Yeah.
And that
It'll
that holds your wrapper in place. So you don't want to go
Yep.
deep that you start losing your wrapper because it'll start fraying. Where you just do a quick little shave as thin as you can. If you can draw, if not, then shave a little bit more until you can. And then if you're not, that's okay. A V cut ain't gonna make it no better, nor is a punch.
Mm-mm.
And there's nothing worse than watching someone do these stupid punch needles where they put this needle through. You're creating a tunnel in a well-constructed cigar. So what you need to do is release the end with pressure, and that's with your teeth. You go in, put it in, a little bite, draw, quarter turn, do the same thing. It'll open up. You just gotta be patient.
That's all it is. That's what I tell people about whiskey. Give it a chance to open up. Get 2 pours down.
So I don't know if you can see this. You will always see teeth marks on mine.
No,
that
I thought
dark
it's because
line?
you didn't. I thought it was maybe you were worried that someone might try and take it from you.
No, you see the dark line?
Yeah.
That dark line is actually
All the way around.
that's pressure.
Yeah.
I always rotate. Like right now, I'm see how it changes the dynamic at the top. It's a little
Mhm.
bit flatter. Now on the next draw, you'll see that it'll turn this way
Mm-hmm.
and it'll open. And if you look at it from this angle, if you look like this, you see it looks like this. But if I turn it and if I put a little bit of pressure in here, see how it opens up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing that with your teeth as you're
Well,
drawing.
I've noticed you and Zach when you're doing your Instagrams, when you put it in, I'll actually watch you turn your hands.
We always do.
And I never really realized what you were doing when you did that, but now I understand. It's not putting it in your mouth. You're like literally, okay, it was here a minute ago. I'm going to take it here.
Yeah, we're
Or
shaping
here.
because we noticed our draw has gotten less, so we know we need to open up the back end. Really,
If it wasn't 1 o'clock in the morning, I'd go light one up.
We're opening up the foot to do it, so that it draws better, and we keep
Okay.
it more even burn up on the shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Hey, Anthony, what are you drinking right now?
Right now, I am finishing up the
Yellowstone pick.
115.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I actually poured it yesterday and didn't get a chance, so I just capped it and I sipped on it throughout the day, and then I set it back down and
if you
went to a few other things.
haven't had that, you want it. I can tell you
It's
that.
Where
not
did you
here.
get that, Bobby?
You can order from them; they'll ship.
Oh, the Andalusia.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you love it.
Hey,
Oh.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you've ever had this stuff, Bobby. Hold on.
It is fantastic. I went through the distillery tour there, and I tried a bunch of their stuff.
I was sipping on this today, and I actually gave out a sample. I don't know if you've had any of this, Bobby.
No,
Never
he's
heard of
not.
it.
No,
Never heard of it.
You know where this come from?
No.
I still
Bourbon
got
Battalion.
one unopened signed by Bobby.
Where'd you get it?
This come from Bourbon Battalion.
Weird. Who's that dude?
I've got that
Yeah.
signed by
guy on
Bobby.
YouTube.
And
Mine's still unopened.
But
The one I had down there that's signed by everybody, I haven't opened, but I've had
Yeah, that's the only one I've got.
I've had a few. Ed was such a nice guy for that event, to give me
Oh
that.
yeah, man.
that is a really decent rye. It's 95.5, 100 proof.
Proof is
it
right
has
on point.
flavor to it.
Yeah.
I like the sip on it.
Listen, their barrel proof is pretty damn good. It's hot, which I
But
like.
it's not hot garbage.
No. But I think the one that I tried a bunch of them, but the one that I settled on the one time I went through I think it was like 131 or something like that.
So I gave a sample of that to Andrew Chance today. I met up with him, and also we swapped some bottles because he had something I wanted, I had something he wanted, so we swapped some bottles, and then I threw a couple of other samples in there because he only lives about 15 minutes from me, and so we met up at Liquor Lineup. And anyway, I gave him one of that, and he goes, "Oh, I don't think I've ever had that." I said, "I know you haven't had that because it's not out here, and the only way you're going to get it is if you talk to Bobby."
Well, you can get it in the stores in Ohio. It isn't, and they do ship now. They do have shipping now. If you go to Magnolia, they have their site set up where you can ship. And listen, their barrel proof is a getter. It's a getter.
Is that the 6?
Yep. I got a review on that one coming out tomorrow.
Who was just drinking?
Sweet.
Oh, Stahl was drinking that.
Stahl
And
was.
who else? Stahl was drinking the 6, and
was it Joe?
Rob?
Or Rob.
Rob.
Rob had
Yeah, I
it.
was saying, no, I think it was Rob. I said, I don't think it was Joe. Joe has it, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it was on there. But anyway.
Yeah,
I haven't had the 6.
It's
but
not bad.
I don't have it either. I never saw it, and
I have not. Okay. Now they had the Gatsby here, but it wasn't worth $300 to me.
No. Oh goodness, no.
Yeah, $2.99.
There's not much out there worth $300.
Correct.
There's some, but there ain't
very
much.
accurate. Yeah.
I can't think of what is worth $300.
Evan Williams 23.
Your hat.
Well, that's true.
It is, Anthony. It is.
It is.
It
was more than 300. But yeah, it was definitely worth it.
Evan Williams 23.
Yeah.
So you would go pay $300 for that tomorrow?
Would I?
Yeah.
I have bought it 3 times for 364. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
I've never even seen that.
I only saw pictures.
Yeah, it's a distillery. You have to go to the distillery.
Okay.
And you have to go upstairs to the top middle desk. And
say,
you can buy
please and thank you.
One a year, and they'll swipe your driver's license.
Oh wow.
It's $300.
That's freaking exclusive.
Out the door. And me and Steve, every time we go, we ask them. Every time. I've never been there and not asked them. Sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. But every time they've had it, I've bought it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. I'm heading to bed.
Yep, me too.
Hey,
Bobby, thank you again for the education. I will be, if it wasn't 1 o'clock in the morning, I'd be lighting one up just to.
Hey, dude, if you ever want to just like go through and do a cigar thing and just talk in the background or FaceTime or something,
I'd love it. I'd love it.
Call me because I do that a lot with people. I did one with Daniel H. And I think there's a couple things that cigar smokers do that people don't necessarily know they're doing. And and the reason why I say that is because I did this with Daniel and I was watching him draw, and as a teacher, instructor kind of guy, I'm watching him. I looked at him and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Well, I'm doing that." I said, "No, that's not what we're doing, man. You're doing that wrong."
Yeah, I'd be happy for the help.
And so I did a couple things with him. He's like, "That's completely different." I said, "Yeah, there's just little things that no one's talking about." Like the reason why I came into this community originally was, hey, listen, any of us can pull notes that match something that matters to us, but not everybody can teach people how to do it.
Right. And
so I wanted to just be an educational channel to help people know how to have a better experience.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I had someone ask me this past week when I was in Portugal, one of the big channels that was on there with me. She said, "Hey, why do you think in this day and age in Instagram, and we're talking on Instagram, when you see a lot of people getting timed out for a little bit or getting their channel shut down or something, talking about whiskey and cigars and stuff, why do you think you've never had that issue?" And I said, "Well, honestly, I think it's because I'm much more of an educator than I am I don't let a lot of nonsense. We don't go down rabbit trails of conversations." I said, "But I've never had an Instagram show that I didn't promote, controlled drinking.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
I'm more about how do I do this for 8 hours? I can be with you guys in person, drink for 8 hours with cigars, and be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because I've spent a lot of time understanding how to have the best experience I can have.
Yeah.
I don't have to stop. I'm just more about sustained, controlled, spirits, right? How do I do it and have a good day? And I think that has a little bit to maybe do with it.
What's up, Chris?
At least I hope so, because
Yeah, it does.
Cheers, Chris.
I try to do
Yeah.
that.
I'll reach out, Bobby, because I
yeah.
definitely need the lessons. I'm spending too much money on quality cigars to not know how to handle them. Just to be honest, it's like having a really nice car and not know how to drive it.
Well, I think
Yeah, no,
so-
yeah, true.
like the basic thing that I'd probably sit and talk to you about is like when you look at whiskey, because you know whiskey, and you know your flavored mash bills, and when you have a mash bill, you know expectations.
Yeah.
Mash bills are no different than cigar blends, right?
Yeah.
There's a certain blend profile. You're going to have different regions and different things, like you would have in Scotch or what you'd have in bourbon, and you got to find your preferred mash bills. And in those blends, what is it that I prefer to drink with those blends?
Yeah.
The same way as what do I prefer to eat with my mash bill,
Right.
So there's a lot of the similarities, but I think a lot of people don't think of a cigar and they think of mash bill.
Yeah.
Right.
You
All
do.
right. Hey guys, I gotta run.
All right,
Anthony,
Don't run.
Chris, Bobby, Marty. I'll see you
Northwest,
guys
good to see
later.
you, brother.
See you, Mark.
All right, guys.
Okay, Marty.
Happy holidays. If I don't see everybody in the
Yeah.
chat, Ben, James, everybody. Bobby, I'll reach out. Okay.
Yeah, let me know.
Anthony, thank you, buddy.
Cheers, man.
All right, man.
And then there was two.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to run everybody off.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm working daylight here the next 3 days, and then I'm off until Thursday. In other words, my last day will be Wednesday. I start my vacation Thursday. I don't go back to work till the following Thursday. Work 2 days, and then I'm off for 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty much. I have a couple of things I have to do. I have to fill out some expenses and do some follow up for my class and that stuff. And then I won't be doing anything until after the new year.
Yeah. I've had a few people ask me about, hey, you going to stream on Sunday? I said, no, not on Christmas.
Yeah.
I said, I may pop in if somebody's on or something.
If someone's
like
doing something, I might show up, but I'm not going to do my own live. Yeah.
that. Yeah. I said, they asked me if I was going to do anything. I said, if I do anything, it'll probably be Monday or Tuesday, maybe, or something like that, after Christmas, since I'm on day shift, so I can actually stream at a little earlier hour. And I know a lot of people won't be. So, yeah, I may.
Well, I can
I
tell
don't
you.
know, but
I can
I'm
tell you this.
definitely gonna take
Anthony.
Sunday off.
I can say this to you confidently: the Andalusia bottled and bond, you
Yep.
want it. You want it. The price is right, and the profile's fantastic. Everything about it, it has a place in what we do.
Well, I'm all for the bottled and bond stuff. At least 4
Well,
years, 100 proofer.
The thing is,
That's a sweet spot.
you're talking about a bottled and bond Texas whiskey.
I know.
And Andalusia is doing amazing shit with their stuff for sure.
Yeah, but to be able to do it and get that after 4 years and have it palatable,
Sweet.
that's
Sweet.
the thing.
Sweet. After
Well,
4 years of Texas heat, that's usually like you're getting almost to the point of Tannins. And
So that's why I never was a fan of Texas whiskey. And I know I've had Balcones, and that's really not a great choice.
well,
And I've had,
depends on which ones you have.
well, unfortunately, it wasn't. So that ruined me on Texas whiskey until I tried the Still Austin,
Yeah.
the cast strength. And I could not believe what I was drinking. I was like, oh my God, this is fabulous. So I went and bought the flagship, the Musician, which is the one before it,
Yeah.
which started it all. It's good too. And it's 98 proof, I think it is. It is good. I do prefer the cast strength. However, I can drink both equally, you
Hey,
know.
dude, I have a sample over here because I couldn't get the whole bottle, but I got a good sample of the Iron Root Harbinger Hazmat.
I don't have that. I have the 115.
Yeah, but that's good stuff.
It is. But I frou-frued it for the longest time until Big Vic, when he was here for Whiskey Weekend in September, he said, you need to try this and you need to get a bottle. And I saw it. I go, I've been passing it up. He goes, don't. So anyway, a little more than a month ago, I poured that sample. Now he gave it to me in September. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It's fantastic.
And so as soon as it popped back up on the shelf, I grabbed one.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had a thing, limit one.
Yep.
And like I told Richie, sometimes you can take two up, go right up to the counter. A lot of times they don't know unless it's already programmed in to the system that there's a limit of one.
Yeah.
Last year, to get the holiday bottles, of the Smoke Wagon,
mm-hmm.
I just went in and out 5 times. They didn't say boo to me.
We can't even get Smoke Wagon in Ohio.
I know. Well, I dropped John off that one he's got. So, because he asked me, and I said sure, and I said I'll take one of the horse soldiers because he was at a benefit.
The cash strength, right?
Yeah. I don't have it here, but I think it is. So Will signed it.
Yeah.
Will Summer.
Yeah, the cash strength, because I've been in direct contact with horse holder.
Yeah.
They want when I open, they want to be my first event.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, military. I was
But
at
they're
their
good
private events.
They're good people.
Great.
They're making a decent whiskey.
Fantastic. Their cash strength is delicious. I've drank many of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. And you know me, I'm a proofy bitch, so north of 100.
I am.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And
it's always complicated for the gunny when he comes down because he's like, "What are we going to drink?" And I was like, "What can you
tolerate tonight?"
Yeah. What are you going to do without getting shitty?
Grab this real quick. There we go. So I stumbled onto a gem a couple of weeks ago. It's a pick from 2016.
Yeah.
And it's when the store opened. Well, a case just got lost in the mix. I walked in there a couple of weeks ago with my wife, and the guy I know handed it to me and said, you need to buy this. And so and I'll highlight myself, and he's like,
Hold on. Which one?
Can you see it?
Yeah, I'm looking to see.
It's barrel number 2, bottle number 35, 8-year, 6-month-old at 123 ABV.
Yeah. It's
the second barrel they ever let out of there from 15 or 16. And they forgot. Well, they didn't forget. A case got lost. So anyway, I picked it up and brought it home and let it set. I popped this thing last week. It does not drink like it's 123 proof. If I did this in a blind, I know it's not 100. So I would have probably pegged it around 110 to 115, and I probably would have erred on the side of caution and went 110.
Yeah.
I might have split it and said 112. Okay. Somewhere like that. But if you'd have told me, 123, I'd have said, get the hell out of here. But this is a chocolate cherry bomb.
Really?
And I wish I would have grabbed 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I was fortunate that Bourbon was able to grab me one of a drop of barrel, and it easily is the best one I've ever had.
I'm telling you what, at first, I didn't like some of the barrels I've had, and they were some of their, I don't call them off brands, but there wasn't a Dovetail, something they continuously put
Yeah,
out
like an
between
off
the
pick
changes.
back when they used to have their off picks, right?
Yeah. I don't know what to say. You know, they'll tell you barrel number 36 or
Yeah,
whatever it was. Okay. 30, they would be numbered 32, 33, 34, 30. Okay. Anyway. And I'm like, it's okay, but I don't think it's $90 good. You know, it just didn't wow me. So I didn't pursue them. Holy smolians. That thing changed me. So you know what it reminded me of? Christmas.
Ah,
The
interesting.
chocolate.
Yeah.
The chocolate. I'm like, now, granted, it is nowhere near Christmas, but
Do they say what it is? Is it a stout barrel? Is it a stout barrel
there's
finish?
nothing I can find on it. Steve Burkow, he looked up some stuff for me because I couldn't find it, but it would be a WAG. So it's between A and B. It could be this, it could be that, you know, da 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 da.
Yeah.
But it's possible because it fits the time frame and the barrels that were going out, blah, 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 blah. So no conclusive proof is exactly what it was, because there's nothing to say this is the barrel, this is it, and you can't go to the site. This was before they started doing that. Oh, but I'm just telling you, I'm almost halfway done with this in a week.
Yeah.
And I have given out a couple of samples because it's worth giving out.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness.
I can tell you, I got this one from Bourbon. Now I got a chance to sample it first with him. And this is easily one of the best I've ever had.
Okay. No,
So this
it's
is
getting there.
barrel Z2A2.
Yeah.
It's 7 year, and it's 122.14.
I mean, it's just it's a solid, nice sipper. I mean, it truthfully is. It's one of those ones where you take that first sip, and when you get that second sip, it's like, oh my gosh.
So
And
it
when
was
you take
really
that
funny,
sip,
right?
you just leave that in your mouth. Just let it sit there a few seconds to really understand what that is, and let that just melt in your mouth. And that's the term I'm going to use. Wow. It really is good.
Well,
Yeah,
so,
it's one of the better ones I have had
yeah.
in a long time that made me go, oh my gosh. It was like one of my first times I had uncut, unfiltered a couple years ago. And I'm just sitting there going, oh, this is caramel, vanilla, butterscotch, just deliciousness when I was drinking that uncut, unfiltered.
Yeah.
And, I said to my wife, holy smokes, this is so good.
Are you
I
talking
mean, it's one
about
of those that,
Smoke Wagon?
yeah, that you can just sip, 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 and be quite content with
Can
it.
you readily get that?
Oh, dude, I have a dozen bottles.
All right.
Yeah. So anytime,
All right.
I'll drop it off to you.
So let me profile this. So I'll tell you the funny story behind this one. Ben, who is, if I'm truly sitting there wanting to, if I have questions that me and the gunny can't answer, probably Ben's the one I'm calling. I'm calling Ben. So Ben was at a thing in Kentucky doing barrel picks or whatever he's doing, and he's swung by the house on his way home, stayed here overnight. We had a great time. Sat out by the fire, drinking. Steve came down. He brought stuff down. Ben went up to the Gunny's house, drank on the Gunny's bar, came down here. We did all kinds of stuff. The second time Ben came, he came and he brought this. And David, you're not wrong, right?
Mhm.
So we were sitting there, and before I knew this, Ben's like, hey, I want you to taste this. I want you to profile it and let me know what you think this is. And I said, hey, listen, the thing you got to understand, right, is I am a audible person. So I don't want you to respond, but understand I'm going to talk this process through because I talk a lot when I process.
Come on. Really?
Well, listen, you think I talk on here. Trust me, I cut down talking. When we're doing it just you and I.
Yeah.
I mean, but like other streams, if I get on YouTube, I'm more about I'll just sit back and listen now. Because, not everybody wants to have value added.
Oh, no.
So we went through, and I was tasting this, and I was walking through these process and all this stuff. And then I was just like, and out of nowhere, boom, it hit me. I was like, I know what this is. And he said, what do you think it is? I say, dude, that's Willet Purple. That's Willet Bourbon. I know exactly what that is. That's Willet Bourbon. And he's like, it is. So when you can't find Willet Bourbon, this is the alternative. This is the alternative, right?
Some people are a fan of Willet. Some people are not. They think it has they call it the Willet funk. I've had it. I go, I don't think it's terrible. I understand what they're talking about. I just don't find it off-putting.
Well, and I think that, like, my question would be, like, for them to say that, have they had Willet Bourbon? They usually have Willet Family Estate Rye. But are they having Willet Bourbon, which is the purple tops? Those are expensive as hell and hard to find. They may have never even had that.
This one person, I'm going to say he's probably has.
Well, then it just doesn't hit his profile.
Yeah, it's just not.
Which is fine.
And he's just not a fan of it. But anyway, I know him, and I would say, yeah, he's probably had it. But I will tell you, I know he does not like the rye, period, in Willet.
Yeah.
Yes. No.
Like, I can tell you, there's so many, like, there's so many weird, unique things that come across it. You would almost feel like it was finished. Like, I could pick out notes that I would say that what I would think it's finished in, but I know it's not finished. But, like, it has a tartness. It has a tartness to somewhere leans itself along the line to thinking it might have, like, a lemon zest.
Yeah.
Which is not particularly normal in a bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
But behind it, it also seems like it has a saccharine note, like a cola note. It's like there's a cola with a zest. Well, if you've ever been to Europe and you order a Coke or a soda, they're going to give you a glass with ice and a lemon in it.
Yeah, they do that here. I'm like,
do that.
I'll put that on mine.
But they do. Do room service in a hotel, 100%. You're getting a glass with ice and a lemon in it to pour your Coke in. But I mean, it does have like it definitely has some of the bourbon characteristics, but they're not super predominant.
Was that a malt?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I get saccharine. I mean, I get a little bit of like, to me, it's almost like a flat soda that has a little bit like a lemon zest in it.
Hey, Vegas Dart.
I would say probably the most bourbon thing about it is probably brown sugar.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you took a flat Coke, a dash of brown sugar, and a zest of lemon, which doesn't sound like you think it would be great, but this is flipping spectacular.
You know what, Vegas Art? I'm glad you enjoyed it, but so he's one of the ones I dropped off a sample to. He doesn't live far from me either. Anyway,
Oh, nice.
about that one, and it is just
Yeah.
a chocolate cherry bomb, and I couldn't believe it. And I've not gotten that a lot, and not that pronounced, other than Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it
wonder-
just hit me
It
square in the
makes me
teeth.
wonder. It makes me wonder how good that would be in an old fashioned.
Christmas?
No, that.
Oh, if I drank a lot of cocktails, it would probably be decent, but I don't drink
Well, I
cocktails.
mean, you're talking like it's a proof point. It has chocolate cherry, right?
It does. It's a chocolate cherry
And you
bomb.
put that in an old fashioned with a Luxardo cherry, which would enhance that part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might. I mean, granted, for the price point, I probably wouldn't put it in an old fashioned, but I'm saying I understand why it would be what it
Yeah. But I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it, Art. I mean, honestly, I figured you would for sure.
would. James, I drink it neat. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But I just couldn't believe
Take off, eh?
how well, Art, that chocolate note came out. I mean, honestly, the viscosity on that was so good. The legs on the glass were just slow coming down the sides.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes. And that cherry just slowly came in as I just savored each drop that I had. And it was like, wow. I mean, I know I'm making this sound like the best thing since sliced bread, but
If you like it, you like it.
it's really good. It is really good.
I
And like
think
said,
you
it's
should
been a while
always
since
you should
I've had
always be that like that full of expression on things you like, because somewhere along the line someone's going to identify with your palate, and people that identify your palate, and because you've been on here enough to know people who have you say like,
Yeah.
oh, Anthony's told me to get this and I liked it. He told me to get this and I like it.
Oh,
now
yeah.
he's telling me this is great. The only way they're going to know that is you have to express what's true to your palate. It ain't about everybody else's palate.
Yeah.
It's about you advancing and helping not only yourself, but those people that follow you and have a similar
Oh,
palate.
yeah. And just like we always said, the premise of story time, this is meant to be shared.
Yeah, I'm going to sit there and go through, and like if you tell me, hey, you need to get this, I'm going to get it because I know you, I've talked to you, and I know what I like about it.
Yeah. But I just said, it's meant to be shared. It's meant to be enjoyed. And so I just knew this is something that he would like, because he has been in chat before. He's popped in and stuff. And, but I don't mind sharing what I have, and I don't want anything in return.
I'm
You
just
know,
saying,
Yeah.
Let me
I don't
tell
want
you,
anything in return.
you can,
I
yeah,
just want people to, enjoy it like I do.
So
like I
Clint,
said,
you know Clint, right? Clint Hickey.
Yeah.
He jumps in everywhere. So he comes here a lot, and he's got to try a bunch of stuff with me and Steve because he's pretty local.
Mm-hmm.
And, he came over. He said, I really want to try this. I said, well, then go open it. He said, I'm not opening it. I said, well, I'll go open it. So I cracked it and poured it and all that stuff. He's like, oh, man, that is really good. And I said, it really is for what it is. No doubt about it. It's good for what it is.
Yep.
And he was so.
Holy smokes! Hold on. I gotta make sure that this is the same person. It is. Holy smokes! Hanging, you must have had to wake up and take a piss, because it's what, midnight for you, because you're an hour ahead of me. Holy smokes! I'm honored that you come in. And while you're here, smash that like button too. And I'm not going to mention anything about Long Branch that you drink that, Hanging. It's okay. I'm just happy that you're here. But he's just across the state line from me, Bobby, in Arizona. I'm going to try to get a day to where I'm on that side of the world, and maybe when I'm visiting my father in Yuma, I'll drive up towards Phoenix, which is a good 4 to 5 hour drive north.
Yeah.
But spend the night and visit with him. What's this? What's he's up late?
Like midnight. I said it's like 1:50 here.
Uh-huh. I figured there was something going on because, yeah, you got to get into that bed before you turn back into that pumpkin for sure.
That's funny.
But I got to get over there and actually see him. But, yeah, because, like I said, he's normally not up. But people in here know him. So.
Yeah, I'm that guy that, like, I guess I do sleep. It's just not tons.
Well, if, like I said, normally I don't go to work till 2 in the afternoon. So I'll end the stream here in a little bit just because I want to clean up and turn in and get 4 or 5 hours of.
You're like 9 hours away from midnight, right?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
11?
I'm an hour away.
An hour?
Yeah, it's 10:51. I'm 3 hours behind you.
So you're 3 hours behind.
3 hours behind you.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're on Pacific.
Yep, so I am.
I didn't know if you're on Pacific or Mountain.
Nope, Pacific. Oh, all right, James.
Cheers, James.
Oh, yeah. Always great to have James from across the pond in here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Really appreciate him whenever he's on here. But I actually talked to John on his birthday.
Yeah.
Yep. Made sure I chatted with him a little bit. Oh, yeah, that's right. Z-Man's in AZ too, and he's not far. You know, I got a lot of good people over there that's, you know, a few hours away. Go and visit. So I'm actually
so Ben was asking, is all of Nevada PST?
Yep. All of us in Nevada are on Pacific.
Huh.
Yep.
Guess I didn't know that.
And yeah, as far as I know, like if you get up around Reno, Tahoe, no. Nope. The line kind of encompasses. Now, Utah is not.
Right.
And I'm 45 minutes, hour from the Utah border. I can be in Utah in an hour. I can be at Adams about 5 hours, 6 hours, Whiskey Mountains. I can be up there, you know, leave in the morning, go up and have a lunch and literally be a long day, but turn around and come back.
That'd be a long day.
Yeah, come back here.
Yeah, that's pretty long.
Oh, that's right. Tipsy's over there too, hanging. I forgot. He's over on that side.
I have to do a mini meetup.
Well, a lot of people that are in the chat, or you know, that we hang with on Whiskey Tube, they're just right there in Arizona. And then, of course, you know, Richie, he's in California. Yeah, he's not far. So,
well, I will say this, right? And I haven't shared this anywhere. So 2023 will be a little bit unique, a little bit different, right? So, you know, everything I always say is military, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for my channel, 2023 will be the second wave, but it will be different. It will be uniquely different.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna test the algorithm. We're gonna put the algorithm to the test that we've been told we can't do. So we'll see.
Speak of the devil. Said Andrew that I told you I gave a sample of the Magnolia to today.
Oh yeah,
that's him. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. We met up today.
Was that the bottle that you got from that I gave you?
Yeah, I told him it came from Bourbon Battalion.
Yeah.
I said he got me that.
Well, you know, the thing that's good about that, right, is one, they waited till it was BIB. They made it BIB, right?
Mm-hmm.
And two, it's also, you know, those original bottles were all sourced MGP.
These are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I think it does say, yeah, Indiana. So that's what I said. So yeah, this is MGP.
The only difference is they were sourced MGP, and then to cut to proof, they imported water from Kentucky.
Kentucky mineral water, huh?
They imported Kentucky water to cut to proof.
Good.
So Ed did a good job with it. He's
Yeah.
spent a lot of time. I felt very, very, I guess you'd say, honored to be asked to go down, and I did their stuff with them. And they asked me, they said, well, what do you think about age and all that stuff? And what do we do? I said, you wait. I said, get a 40-year product and older, and don't settle for anything less.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing quite well. I mean, they now ship over a lot of the United States. They have shipping set up. They're doing good. As much as those, like, I really liked both of their expressions back then, but man, I'll tell you what, their barrel proof shit is great.
Are they going to start producing?
I think I can't say for sure. I don't know for sure if that's the plan or not, but I know that they haven't slowed down. Now they do have a place that they could distill, but I haven't talked to Ed recent enough to know if he's planning on doing his own stuff or he's just planning on sourcing.
Hey, it doesn't make a difference to me. I think what they're doing right now is perfect.
It's good. I mean, because you're not finding, a lot of stuff that they're doing the way they're doing it. So I mean, he's doing a good job for sure.
I was happy with it from the day I poured the neck pour.
Yeah,
you said I would be, so
yeah,
that was the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, it was for what it is. I mean, you're talking about an MGP product that bottled in bond.
Yeah,
and
it's good.
It's good. The price point's good. The price point's not off-putting for what it is. You're talking about
it is not
an MGP product bottled in bond. I mean, you're not upset about the price point.
No, not at all. Not at all. I was talking to a guy today at Liquor Lineup when I was there with Andrew, and we were doing our little swapping. And I told him, I go, the Evan Williams bottled and bond there for $16. I go, the only thing I don't like about it is it's just a little thin, but it has flavor. It's 100 proof. It's 4 years old, and you can drink that all day long, and you're not going to break the bank.
No, and when you pour it, do an old-fashioned wine thing. Don't be afraid to pour whiskey deep. If it's
mine is always thin, a nice, good 2 fingers.
If it's I'm not saying deep as in a lot. I'm talking about deep. Do you know what I mean when I say that? I don't think you do. Here, I'll show you. Because you don't have to pour a lot to pour something deep. Let's go down to the glass. Oh shit!
Hold on to it. Put that bottle down.
Oh, I ain't gonna drop shit. I'm pretty good about it. Okay.
Well, that won't be the first time you've done that.
I have done it one other time.
Yeah.
It's only ever been one other time, though. Let's be real.
Hey.
I had one time that light fell and it dropped everything.
I am glad you learned from the first time.
Oh, Dave, listen. Belle has no problem. She's with child, so she's not right now, but yeah, she does. She's like, I have bottles up here I'm not allowed to drink until she can. So pouring something deep, right? Let's talk about pouring deep. This is signature wine information, but it does apply to both. So pouring something deep means you pour it from high up. So instead of just doing this, you want to pour it really gently. See how that foamed up there and opened up? It basically takes the whiskey down to the bottom and makes it blow up to the top. And gives it in wine, it gives it an age statement, right? It'll open it up. Wine is a little bit obviously different than whiskey. You want a lot of times in wine, you'll hear someone say they aerate it.
Yep.
The breath through an aerator. You can do the same thing by pouring it deep. You don't have to pour it through a thing, just pour it from way high.
Mm-hmm.
It goes down and splash up, and it brings all the air back up and opens it up.
Mm-hmm.
Whiskey applies to that.
Oh yeah. We talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes leaving it in the bottle, letting it open up, a little
So the
oxidation in there.
the term pour, when you do it here, pour deep is not that you're pouring a thick glass, it's you're pouring it deep into the glass.
Mm-hmm.
So the higher up it is, forces it deep into the bottom of the glass to hit the bottom of the glass and then explode back up.
Well, there you go, everybody. You heard it here. Worthwhile information, people.
You want to get the best nose off of something? You don't have to pour a lot to pour it deep. You'll watch it just like bubble at the top, it'll foam up at the top, and then go into the nose on that. You're just like, whoa, why did that nose just get crazy? That's why.
That's one thing I was telling my nephew. We were doing a little bit of a private stream last night while he was getting into some bottles. And so he doesn't have all the accoutrements. And I said, okay, well, you don't have to have a special Glen cap. See that coaster? He goes, yeah, put on the top of your Glen.
Yep.
There's your Glen cap right now. I said, now leave that set for about 10, 15 minutes, push it to the side, and we'll chat about your bottle. So we did. And I said, now before you just pop that top off, lift it up. And when you take that top off, go ahead and nose. I explained to him, I says, and just don't stick your nose into the glass to where the tip touches the juice. I said, put it there, but move it to the right nostril and the left nostril. And there's a reason, because you'll get different notes, or it'll seem different one side or the other, because that's just how you are. But, these are little things that he's learning now as he's doing this. And I said, when you pour, do 2 pours, just like you and I talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I said, you leave some in the first glass, then, wait a few minutes, clear your palate out, then go into the second glass, make your notes. Then the last sip or 2 that you have in that first one left, go back to it and see if it changed from what you first had, and did it meet what was in the second now that it had a chance to catch up and open up.
Right.
I said, so when you're doing them, that's how you should do it when you have the time.
Right.
You don't rush it when you really want to understand a bottle and your pours. I said, do that. And then once you're done with it and you have your notes, save them, put your cap on, and then don't touch it for at least a week, but I prefer 10 days. Then sit down, do a nice pour, I said, and just sit there with it and sip on it and see if it's changed, and has anything changed since you last wrote it down, or has it stayed the same? So I gave him a little pointers, and then he kept asking me, what about this? What about that as far as notes? And I go, there are no wrong notes. You will get what you get from it.
That's correct.
You're not wrong. But one thing he pulled out of the Elijah Craig, and I didn't tell him, he says, I don't know why, but I'm getting a graham cracker. I said, you are. And I go, you are. I said, and he said, and chocolate. I laughed. I go, okay. And before, he mentioned a marshmallow note. And so once he did that, I said, now think of a s'more that you make when we would go camping, because I used to go camping with him. Anyway, I said, that is the memory that bourbon triggers. The graham crackers, the chocolate, the marshmallow, caramel, cinnamon, burnt brown sugar. I said, why do you think you don't know? I go, you said everything that there needs to be said, about that. I go, and as you start to experience different whiskeys, bourbons and ryes, your palate will change. You will notice more fruit flavors like an orange zest, a lemon zest, apple in there. When you continue on your journey, and if you get into Irish, that's a whole nother fork in the road. So is American single malt. So is whiskey. And he goes, well, I drink whiskey. I said, well, all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon. So I told him, I says, Netflix has a thing on there called Neat. I said, you need to watch that. I said, that's a great documentary show on bourbon. I said, so they'll talk to you about the history of bourbon, the main players when it really got started.
Just ignore the whole part about Castle and Key.
Yeah, well, that is in there too. And I told him about Castle and Key.
You can go through that part and skip it.
Yeah.
Because it's insignificant.
And yep, I told him about E.H. Taylor. And I says, but anyway, just listen to that. I said, I liked it. And there's a few other things on there that they'll go into Scotch. I says, but Neat is worth watching. But anyway.
Yeah. If you go through everything, and just bypass that part, it's spot on. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can just pass that part though.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm on sure he was in for a while tonight. Matter of fact,
Cool.
He was in the chat. At first I didn't recognize it. But I recognized his avatar and I looked at the name. He changed the name. So it took me a minute because I'm looking at this name and I'm looking at the avatar. Like, oh, he changed it. It took a second for me to make that connection.
Yeah.
What the heck? But anyway, he's into it. He's getting into it, and
cool. I know my kids are. Like my son is almost exclusively a bourbon drinker, and Belle probably got one of the best palates I've ever been around. When she dives into a whiskey and starts going through taste note profiles, I said, Belle, you missed your flipping calling. You should be a significant profile person for somebody. Because she'll throw out notes, because my middle daughter is a big kind of into like herbs and spices and all that kind of stuff. So she's very into that, and she really has a really palate for that and a nose for that. And I know for a fact she's the first person that ever in my history of ever doing notes on a live stream one day, and she's like, well, the first note I get is sunflower seeds. And I was just like, what the hell? I was like, what? And then I went and smelled it. I was like, well, I'll be damned. Because I think the thing that the next stage for teaching your nephew is once you know your notes and once you know what they are to you, then you need to be influenced by someone. Because they're going to tell you notes that you know, but they just aren't coming to mind to you.
And Matt, I did explain that to him. I said, I don't want to tell you what I know. I want you to tell me what you know or you think. I said, and then as you go and you listen to some other people describe that particular whiskey that they're drinking, then you might go, oh, you know what? That's the note I couldn't put my finger on.
Right.
It's a red apple, or it's a pear, or it's the zest of a lemon or a zest of an orange, or all of a sudden you're like, I don't know why, but I'm getting grape. Well, if you're drinking an Eagle Rare, they're known for certain bottles to be very grape forward, even though there's no grape in that barrel. But it's just the notes that wood imparts into the whiskey. I said, so.
Well, I think that's the thing, right? Because you want to go in with no influence.
Exactly. You're exactly right. And that's what I told
him. And after you've done that, you want influence to help identify. It's not that you didn't know it. It just didn't come to mind. I think that's the thing that's so important is you don't want to go in to your first tasting influenced. You want to just go into your own palate.
Yes. I said, exactly what I
You
told
gotta
him.
grow
You
deeper.
develop your palate. If you just get vanilla and caramel and butterscotch, that's what you get. But as you go on, and this is what will happen, you will eat something, and all of a sudden, it will trigger a memory from you drinking a specific glass of whiskey and go, oh my gosh, that's a note. And you're going to want to go and do a pour of that and see if it's in there. But everybody's had an experience like that, that is a true whiskey drinker. Something triggers a memory and will take you back to a pour or a time when you go, oh, that's this, that's that. I go, people relate certain notes to starbursts type of candy.
yeah.
Yeah. A Luden's cough drop when they talk about medicinal cherry or something like that.
Right.
Or they'll say a maraschino cherry, kind of, I hate to say artificial, but an artificially but sweet cherry. I go, it's just what it triggers. And I said, don't worry about it. Just let it go, let it flow. You'll figure it out. And I said, we can do the private streams. I said, you can invite some of your friends. I says, I will invite some of the people in chat to come on, and it's not live, but we can have a discussion and everyone can put forth their 2 cents. And no question is a dumb question, no matter where you are, because there's not one person on WhiskeyTube that has a channel that would think that's a dumb question, period.
Right. Well,
It just wouldn't.
Because the only way you're going to grow the community is realize that, you know, somewhere along the line, there has to be an influence of thought. And that influence of thought is something after they've had their own influence.
Exactly. And as you get further into your journey, if you do, you may not go much further than what you have, and that's fine. But your palate will develop and your passion for it will develop, and you'll become more articulate in describing your experience. I said, it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
I go, but the more you talk about it with others, the more you share the experience, the more you talk about the experience, the better you become.
That's a fact. Agreed.
That's the bottom line. The better you become. I said, there are people that go to school to become psalms. So what do you think they do? They sit there, they sip, and they taste, and they discuss and talk. Now, there's more in-depth stuff I said, but
yeah, there's a lot more than that.
But. Yeah, but I go, a lot of it is tasting and understanding what this stuff is. I says, and what goes into it. And anyway, I said, but they talk about their experiences. They talk about this whiskey. They talk about the wine, or they talk about the cognac, or they talk about whatever, you know, that their niche is. So anyway, I go,
I agree though.
You have to talk about it. You have to drink it. You have to experience it with others. I said, and be open-minded. I said, and listen. You don't have to agree. Somebody says they get almonds. You know, I don't get almonds. It might be a note you just don't get. Like, I don't get mint a lot from rye. I don't. I just don't pick that up. Now, the Elijah Craig rye, mint. Mint, it's there. The Magnolia, if I get it, it's late on the finish. It kind of just slowly creeps in there. Oh, yeah, there it is. It's like a subtle mint. It's like, oh, here it comes. But I have to look for it.
Yeah. You know, and the thing is, like, mint is not a traditional note that you would get from like rye. It's the best thing that we can assimilate to what the barrel spice is. The mixture of the barrel spice and the product puts off a note that the only thing that we can use as a register is mint. But if you know that and deconstruct it, you realize it's not mint. It's actually barrel spice mixed
But-
with.
But that's what it triggers for us.
Yeah, for us,
mint.
you're gonna be like, oh, dude, I get a mint note. Like I use that mint note absolutely to identify a rye in a blind.
Exactly. If it comes up, and like I said, though, for me, I just don't always get it. So sometimes it's hard for me to distinguish. I go, I have to really think about it and search that palette. What did I just have? What is this? Because I just don't get some of the tall tale signs of it. But anyway, but Art, you're right. And Bobby and I both agree. A lot of this is the discussion. A lot of this is the experience. And a lot of this is the sharing with you all, not only live, but in chat. And we learn more, we grow more every time. You know, it's not that we are good by any means. And I'll say I am not.
But my palate is always changing. Like,
oh, yeah.
But I
Yeah.
but I push my palate. I go into things that were so unique and so different than what I did because there's an opportunity. I can remember the very first time I went into heavy peat, I was just like, oh, that's so rough. And all the things that I thought were really off-putting about it before, I don't even notice now.
Yeah. I don't get mint hanging on 1792. I actually was drinking the sweet wheat and then even the small batch I had about a month ago. I generally don't, that I can remember, get anything like that off of it. But
Yeah,
you
because
get what
mint's
you
usually
get.
off of rye for me.
Yeah. But hey, if you get mint, you get mint, brother. You
Yeah,
know
that's
what we said. There's no wrong answer.
No wrong answer.
Mm-mm. Well, that one high rye, I know that you know what I'm talking about. It's that high rye bourbon, that pick from Total Wine hanging. I don't get mint at all on that. I just get deliciousness.
Yeah.
That's what I get from it.
That definitely happens too.
Yeah. Strictly deliciousness. And like I said, this is I have another bottle of this. I just don't have it open, but I bought two when I got this.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did, because now this is not available anymore. But I have one. But now that I've gotten rid of this bottle, I'm not as anxious to tear into that bottle because I've had it. So it's all
move on to something else. Oh, man, that's so good.
So you're saying then
Andalusia, so
hanging in this bottle of foolproof, then you would expect me to find some mint in there. And this is one of the picks that I got.
I know I'm not going to pull mint off of mine, but
anyway.
Yeah. Well, brother, I think it's about the time.
Yeah, for you it is. Then that's what I'm talking about. That Redemption High Rye pick. It is really good. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Art. I have an unopened bottle because before I finished my bottle, I had to
find. Just bought that.
What's that, Bobby?
The Gunny just bought one of the newest ones.
I'm telling you, they're good, and for the price, and they're 105, 110 proof, if I recall. I think it's 105, maybe 107, but it's just a great drinking whiskey. It is. I'm very impressed with it. And like I said, I didn't want to finish the one I had until I had a backup. And so I found the backup. And
yeah.
But now I finished that one. I haven't opened the backup. But I know it's good. I know it's good. But anyway.
No,
all right. Well, what do we got here?
Oh, anytime, Dave.
Yeah. Always great, Dave. Honestly, that's what I try to do. And that's when we get rid of what I call the fluff and we really get into talking and discussing whiskey, just like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
This is the meat. This is it. The fun part already happened when everyone else was on and just shooting the shit about everything. That's great. But when you really get down to it, you get down to the meat and you pour and you really get into it and you just discuss it. You analyze it, whatever you want to call it, get into the talk. That's why I say
the best thing you can do with whiskey is answer and question.
Everything's going up, hanging AZ. Okay, it is 105. Okay. 105, 107, 110. I knew it was somewhere in there. I couldn't remember.
Wow.
Oh, wow. They did jump up. 65. Wow. Yeah, that's a $15 jump for sure. Besides, I know I didn't pay 65. I want to say it was right around 45 or 49. Well, yeah, $50. I'm just like, yeah, maybe it was $50 now that I think about it. But still,
which one was that?
that was the one Gunny got. You said the Total Wine, the High Rye, the Redemption High Rye.
Yeah.
So that, like I said, that's a good price. That's a good price. All right, Bobby. Well, you catch yourself some Z's.
I'll probably go up and I'll clean up here real quick, and then I'll go up and make sure I get up in time to get the wife off. She's got she's a teacher, and they have a field trip tomorrow, so she's got to be there early. And I'll get her off, and I'll do. Well, that didn't sound right.
What are you guys still in school?
Well, she's an elementary teacher.
So is my wife.
Well, they're still in school.
And they're done. They were, last day was Friday until the 3rd or 4th of January.
Now, these guys, her last day is Wednesday. Well, I think there's a lot of things that changed with her school because they just had a new school built, and they had to come in late.
Maybe they got to make up a few days.
They didn't start school until after Labor Day.
We start school in August.
Well, normally we do too.
Like August 10th, 15th.
Yeah. Usually we do too, but when they build a new school, and sometimes it has to get pushed.
Oh, yeah. No. Well, my wife's school was new. They tore it down during the pandemic, opened up 1 year later, and they had to get a TCO because they couldn't get a full occupancy permit because there were still things that weren't quite right. And so the city worked with them so they could open on time for classes. But it took them probably 3 months before they got the actual certificate, that everything was.
Oh, trust me, it's a pain.
Oh, it's a pain. I know, but all right, man. Well, it's always a pleasure having you on.
Glad you were on.
No, I'm glad to have you on, and everyone could finally, say, oh yeah, Bourbon Battalion's still around.
Oh, you know what? Trust me, it'll be a whole different world. So we're gonna do some bridging.
Well, good. You should.
We're gonna bridge some gaps.
Well, we talked offline before, so I kind of knew.
Yeah, we're gonna bridge.
You weren't sure when you were going to throw the line out.
It's going to be within the first 2 months of the year.
Okay.
So
I'm not giving anything away.
It'll be a
when you put your thumbnail up and
it'll be a multi-platform thought.
Right? Yeah.
We're going to bridge platforms.
Yep. All right, man.
All right, man. We'll take care out there. Good luck to you. And if I don't see you beforehand, which I probably should, but if I don't, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and the family, bud.
You as well.
Cheers.
All right, buddy.
I know. You got the bottle of bond pick for $39. Yeah, that's a good price hanging for $39 for the bottle of bond. There's a pick here for like $44 on the bottled and bond. I'm trying to think off the top of my head at a place called Liquor World. And I didn't think that was a bad price for the pick, particularly when bottled and bond is right around $40. So it might have been $50 on it, but I don't think so because I picked the foolproof because the foolproof was only a couple of bucks more. When I say a couple of bucks more, maybe $7. And so I picked up the foolproof instead of the bottled and bond. But I actually may swing by there again and pick that up for, like I said, it might even have been $40, but good price, even a store pick. So anyhow, I just may do that. I do believe it is a pick from Total Animal Scout. I've never even had an old Scout up to my lips yet. haven't. Tim Evans, he dropped off a bottle to me a while ago, and it's a pick from somewhere in Chicago, and I forget. And you're jogging my memory because you mentioned Old Scout. I'm going to have to look for that because I know it's on the shelf, and I did see it, but it's been a minute since I looked at it. But people say that the picks are pretty decent. It's like any other pick. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not good. It just all depends. But I know I've got that on there. I haven't tried it yet. So now it's one of those things that's in the works. I'm going through some bottles, and one of the streams I did was on bottles that we've opened, we've tried, but because we get so many going, they get pushed back in our normal rotation, and we don't go to them for months, 6 months, 7 months or more. So I've been trying to visit some ones like that since I've had that stream to go back and, visit those bottles. And I haven't even opened that. So I've got to do that. All right, man. Merry Christmas to you and your family, David. Always great having you here. I'm only going to go a few more minutes here and just myself get ready because I'm working day shift in the morning instead of my afternoon. So I got to be kind of respectable. But cheers, brother. I don't think it is Benny's. I would have remembered that, Ben. I don't think so. We were talking about that earlier, hanging that little oxidation in a bottle does that real good. And so I was telling my nephew that drink them down to the shoulder. So it'd be 2 pours. I was explaining him how to do it, but he just needs a little time. But then put the cork on, set it on the shelf for, about 10 days. I like 10 days. So 2 weeks, and then get back into it. I go and see if anything has changed. Make your notes, do what you need to do, and go from there. I said, but in most cases, allowing that bottle to open up makes all the difference in the world. Yeah. And just so I know, I've said it a few times, I will not be doing a live stream on December 25th. I'm going to be relaxing with family and having a few pours myself. And I may pop on a few if someone's on. But if I do, I'm probably going to kind of go off schedule and do either Monday, Tuesday, something like that, maybe even Wednesday. I don't know. But we'll just have to see how things go and what's what from there. But, I'm just going to enjoy some free time and just relax and try to actually get like 6 or 7 hours of sleep instead of 4 or 5. But I'm just one of those people. I'm used to it. It doesn't bother me to do that and then be up for another 16 or 17 hours. The neck is horrendous. Okay. Yeah. Well, sometimes they are. But my last old granddad I paid $13 for a bottled and bond when I was down there in Yuma, Arizona. When did my wife and I buy that? Was it this summer or just before the summer? It was just before the summer because I made a couple of trips down there, and she wasn't in town. She was out of town, and I went down to help my dad with some stuff. But it was before that. I got it at Walmart for $12.99. I think it was, or maybe it was $13.99. But anyway, it was just damn dirt cheap, and I couldn't say no to it. That's for sure. Not for that price. Oh, you get that much every day hanging? Jeez, oh man, no wonder why you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to go. But me too. I've always been that way. If I can get 4 hours, 5 hours, I'm ready to rock and roll. Now there are some days if I can get 6, 7, I'm living. That's for sure. That is for sure. Yeah. Yep, that's we all do that. Hey, it's like anything else. If you right now, if you can find things at a good price, you got to start picking up. When I say a good price compared to where things are going, and something you might want to, a backup on, or a particular one you want to bunker because you're not going to get it at that price anymore. And if I could have got another one of that pick of the Frey Ranch I got for $40 versus 90, I'd have bought a couple more of those for sure, but they just weren't to be had. So anyway, I'm going to end the stream here at 2.5 hours. I'm going to clean things up and call it a night. I do appreciate everybody that has been on tonight. It has been a great stream, great conversation. Wonderful having everybody on the stream that was on tonight, including Independent Joe had popped in. It's always great to see him and Northwest Bourbon. Honestly, two really great guys, but so's Livewire, Marty, and Rob. It's just nice having those people pop on because I don't always get to see them, and it's just nice. And it's that time of year, so the holidays. So hey, cheers, everybody. If I don't see you or talk to you before Christmas, you all have a Merry Christmas, and I will be seeing you very, very soon. Cheers, everyone. Have a great evening.